Are we live? I think we're going live. We're going live here in it. We're going live. Yes, indeed, we are live. Hopefully, it doesn't freeze out too bad. The technology has just not been on my side. I wanted to dust off the mic. It took a minute here. It's been busy. It's been busy. I hope everybody's doing great. You guys are more welcome. Welcome to the Affordable Darn Gate live show where Uncle Dave is here. Uncle Dave. Yeah, Uncle Dave is here. Uncle Dave is here to help. If you got questions, concerns, input, knowledge, I want it all. I want it all. This is not, I am real. I'm not AI created. I feel like this is glitchy though. I feel like it's glitching on me. It's really hesitant. Who's going to be the first runner up tonight? Let's see. Anywho, hope you guys had a good week. If you guys had a good week, you know what? Give me a number one or give me a thumbs up. Thanks for hitting the like button. I always appreciate it. And let me know what you've done this week. I got nothing. I just wanted to jump on. I wanted to say hello. I wanted to see what you guys been up to. Any problems, any good things. I watched Andy's from the Brazilian. I can never say it all. The Brazilian hot dog guy. If any of you guys follow him, he's a good dude. He's got some good stuff on his channel there. And I can't help to think about the Maximum. I'm just not impressed. I am just not impressed. I watched his video on it and he was doing, I think, a jack shaft and a trolley. And I cannot think of how clunky they were making some weird noises at the end when they shut off. I can't tell you how much I kept thinking those things sound like a pile of poo, And I still just cannot have it where the DC motors are going to be better than the AC motors. I just cannot get that through my head. I've done some DC gate operators and they seem like they're glitchy, like they're problematic, like they're more sensitive to resistance, right? They detect a lot more resistance. And I don't know if that's just something in my head or if that's something I made up. But I just told myself, I will not do any more, for the most part, any more battery backup gate operators because we just had so many problems with them. So I don't know, the Maximums just seem, uh, it's hard to beat a big old AC motor. I think, like an AC motor scares me because I always think of it as like the RC cars. Remember how RC cars could rev up really fast, but you could grab them. They didn't have enough torque. And I think they're probably, is my guess, they're getting their torque from the gearbox, right? That's all gear ratio stuff. And the opener itself, the DC motor probably is not that powerful on its own. I don't even think, come to think of it, I don't think Genie's even got a DC out there, so I just kind of think it's something that's like, it just looks so cheap. I'm not going to lie, and so that's just the way I feel about it. That's just me though. You guys let me know what you got. Let me know about any of the residential ones. You guys have any problems? Chamberlain been working good for you? Seen a Genie belt drive for sale on the old marketplace today. And I couldn't help but to think, boy, that looks like that rail, especially those box store ones, are not the best. It's just my opinion. Oh, by the way, I know cousin Evan's been messaging me, which I appreciate. It sounds like he has got a door job lined up. Hoorah to him. I've been messaging back and forth. He's got a customer. Hopefully he doesn't mind me dissolving or giving too much information away. But he ended up having a customer that is going to replace a garage door that they hit, which I'm super happy because the way I recall it is it was a weird door and it had damage on it. And the way he was going around on it, I kept telling him, I said, dude, I don't think I would mess with it. I think I would honestly, you really need to push him towards replacing. You know what I mean? We said maybe a strut could fix it, stuff like that. But that's if it doesn't pop when the door goes together, after you do that work. So it's always kind of a gamble. I can't remember if it was a farther, I think it was just down the street type of thing, a couple minutes away. So that's awesome. That's great for him. And so they're going to replace the one, not the second one next to it, which is fine. That's fine, right? But the sheen might be off, and maybe you'll get a second one. Somebody, the wifetron or the wifey will be like, I don't like the way it looks from the road. The one garage door looks nice and shiny and brand new. The other one looks dull and faded. I don't like it. And maybe he'll get a second one. So the thing was, though, what I was curious about, I was quizzing him a little bit, and in all good fun, by the way. because I'm just curious. I'm curious. I like to know how people do it, or has he thought it that far through, or what's his exit plan, or what's his game plan, right? And I told him, I said, well, how you gonna get the door there? You know, because he's working off a smaller vehicle like myself, and he said, delivery. Perfect. That's awesome. That's great. That's the way to do it, man. But I don't think he got back to me. I asked him about I asked him a question, but I think we took it the wrong. I asked him, I said, well, how are you going to dispose of it? Oh, yes. How are you going to dispose of it? Yes, tell me. So it might be something for some of you new guys out there. It might be something that maybe you have a couple scrappers. I don't know about your guys' area. In my area, I see it all the time. It kind of irritates me, honestly. I wish people wouldn't do it because they'll post things online, like through Marketplace or whatever, and they'll put something, free scrap, and they'll put like an address and everything, and there'll be like 3 to 6 to 10 people that's already commented on the thing, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, well, why are you going to go get that now? You know what I mean? Why am I going to go get scrap to drive? It's going to cost me what, five, at least $10, $20, maybe in fuel to go get whatever it is, then show up there and it's not there. So I always wish people would say, message me. I'll give you an address. That way they could kind of filter through. And I understand they probably don't care. They just want it gone. But I feel like it's pretty common in my area, at least, that it's easy, super easy, for people to find scrappers. Now, I don't know about him. He's up in the old Canada. I guess they're talking about the tariffs. If anybody knows anything about that, message me. Let me know about it. I guess they were talking about turning electricity off. The Canadians were talking about turning electricity off to us Michiganders. Oh no. Oh no. That's okay. I'm fine. I got a generator. I'm all for it. Whatever needs to be done, let it be done. I don't want people to freeze though. I mean, I feel sorry for them, but like I said, I think it's all smoke and mirrors, anyways. So, anywho, but if you guys got anything, let me know. Put it in the comments. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. So Evan's got that going. The scrappers are pretty lucrative in my area. Let me know if they're lucrative in your area. I see them all the time. I don't know if it's our one scrap place talk about one time not giving you cash. I know that was a big deal. So I don't know if a lot of the scrappers, um, uh, I don't know. I don't know if it's funny money or how it works. I'm not sure. I'm not knocking them because sometimes I look at it and go, go pick me up a dryer or something. You know what I mean? I'll make a few bucks in scrap metal. Don't bother me. But when our one place talked about not giving you cash, it was like, ooh, they're gonna give you a check. You know what I mean? Like that takes out the fun in it for me, anyways. But scrap metal has not been very good for us, anyways. Nowadays, it seems like it's very scrap metal. Scrap metal used to be pretty good money. We used to take a trailer down there, probably make, 200-300 bucks, maybe 400 if on certain months. But now it seems like it's all 150, 200 bucks on a good day. And it's almost just not even worth your time and travel. It seems like sometimes with it, by the time you go down there and get a flat tire. So just kind of happens. But anywho, well, it's obviously Friday. Everybody's out enjoying, getting their weekend, getting the party going on, getting their beer, getting their lotto tickets, enjoying the weekend as they should. Had a long week, right? Sounds like everybody's doing good out there because it's just so quiet. There's no there's no comments. There's nothing to get fired up about. I won't stay long. I won't stay long. So let me check here real quick. Make sure. Nothing. Nothing. I did just get done video. I just edited a video for you guys too. So that one came from Mr. Rusty. Rusty, I got to get back to you too. He shot me a phone number. And so you guys always, if you need my phone number, you can always email me. Always, I think Rusty's got it too. He knows he's been digging it up. I got to email him back. I got to be a nice guy. I got to catch up. But like I said, my phone has not been notifying me, which has been kind of nice. It's been keeping me off, which is kind of nice a little bit, but it's a bummer because I got to go in and dig. I gotta check emails now. So I got to be a good boy. Sometimes I check them, typically I try to check them at least once a day. I'd like to be more like 3 times a day, maybe 9, noon, 3, something like that. But yeah, I've been a little off on that with the notifications. So I apologize if you reach out to me. I've been seeing I've been checking comments too. So you guys are more welcome. Like I said, comment in the video. I do try to catch those. I do try to keep up on those for you guys and say hello or reply something back. I just don't see them on the second time you reply back because they're not new. It's weird how it works through YouTube. Um, so if you got something that you want me to address, definitely hit me up in the email. My Daveadubson@gmail.com. I put it in the description below and you can check it out. Email me there. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. There's no dumb questions. We all have to learn. We all had to start out somewhere. Rusty, I was just talking about you. I seen you pop in here. Rusty, what was going on this week? Was it a good week? Was it a bad week? I literally just got done. I was editing a video for you on that safety, the guy that got crushed. I was just thinking about it. I was just thinking about it when I was taking a shower. I was like, man, that's scary. Door coming down on somebody. Not cool, man. Not cool. I kind of screwed up though in the video. You'll see. Um, uh, yeah, I messed up. I was talking about the photo eyes. The photo eyes wouldn't work. The door wasn't in motion, wasn't pushed, it wasn't activated. So if it's drifting down, far as I know, the door photo eyes wouldn't help. It's not going to activate. It's just going to be moving off its limit. And unless it has an open signal the whole continuous time, the door will just do whatever it thinks it needs to do. It'll just go in the motion. That's how it rolls, baby. Huh. Been a windy day. Wind has been picking up. As long as we don't lose power. As long as we don't lose power. That's the big thing. Trying to see if I can find that maximum. Because those ones are just goofy to me, man. I just don't know about that. The wall button looks, I hear the guys talk about the buttons are slow on the wall buttons. So I'm 50-50. I'd like to play with one, like to do one that's really close to do one, but the price is just not right. Oh man. That is how it goes. But you guys are more welcome too. Let me know what the weather's like. Let me know where you're from. You can bring up anything. Like I said, I'm here at your disposal as your servant. You guys can ask anything you like before I hit the stop button. Seeing how it's going. So hopefully Rusty had a good day. Hopefully he had a good week. Hopefully it was just busy, busy, busy. Fridays are normally quiet on the channel too, for whatever reason. Saturdays, we might do a Saturday. I don't know. I got lucky. The wife of Tron, she had to take the kiddos, so we had I had a little bit of downtime to finally catch up on a few things and get some stuff ready in the making for all that. But I thought, you know what? I was just sitting here. I wanted to say hello. I just missed everybody. I think hopefully PT's coming back, Mr. Papatoni. Hopefully he's coming back soon, man. We need somebody close to home again. Hopefully Rusty's not still working. Hopefully he's done for the day, enjoying the weekend. All that good stuff. It's so quiet. I just cannot believe how Fridays are so quiet. And it blows my mind. I don't know if it's I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you guys do on Friday? Put in the comments. Let me know. You guys just tired out from the week, just veg, you know what I mean? Like just sitting on the couch, video games, maybe video games. Bonfire, too cold still probably. Ain't camping yet. Ain't camping season yet. You think so, Kevin? You think so? I had somebody, I think it was Roy. Roy reached out to me and he had a bigger door, 20 by 14, I think it was. And we didn't think the maximum would be enough grunt power. And does anybody, Kevin, do you even know what the price is? Do you roughly know what the prices are on the maximum? I mean, are they, 900, 800, 1200, 1500? And like I said, it's been 50-50, right? But then I don't know what they've done wrong, right? It's a it's like a friend, but a competitor. And they installed, I think it was either 2 or 4 of them at the one location that we do work for this company because it was a builder, an outside builder did an addition. So we're not in with the GC. And the maintenance guy just said they're back. They're they're coming back all the time. So I don't know. But the funny part was why I believe some of it, right? He said that supposedly they told the maintenance guy that the openers have to be hooked up to Wi-Fi. That's kind of their excuse. And the maintenance guy said, I think they're blowing smoke up us, up my butt. And he said that they're just waiting for it to be out of warranty. Um, so I I don't know if they're having problems, and then they're trying to get tech support, and tech support's trying to tell them, you need to, if you can hook it up to Wi-Fi, we can help diagnose. Um, so that's interesting to me. That's interesting to me because they're not um, they're not greenhorns over there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I've been kind of curious of what I could probably ask. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see what's up because I don't know. I mean, I'm curious, but like I said, when I was watching Andy's video on it and watching how it has like this weird clunk clunk and just the way they run. But anyways, the reason we were going to do it is I figured it had the soft stop and soft start. And the reason was it was going to be on a standard lift door. And he was talking about he was already ahead of me, man. He's asking me all these questions, which is cool. And he's like, "Do you think I should?" And I'm like, "Dude, like you already know, you're already like light years ahead of me on this. Like you're already I can't tell you're doing anything wrong." And then even when I mentioned some stuff that I would consider 3-inch rollers, double hinges, he's like, "It's already got that. It's got struts on every section." But anyways, he was going to do roof pitch with bumper or those push springs. And I said, "Well," I said, "the thing is, I don't like push springs. I use them. I use them. But to be honest, maybe Kevin could answer this or somebody, right? If you put pusher springs on a maximum, is it going to resist that and freak out? Because an AC, it'll power through it. You know what I mean? So if you had to put now on the maximum, maybe obviously you don't need to because it's a soft start and all that. But um, I just told him, I said I'd have the pusher springs. I said, but I would try not to put them on. I said I don't particularly like them because I said they're noisy. I don't like the way, especially if you got them really extended, like you really need the whole travel. If you get the long ones, you know, and then if they don't hit the door right, they can pop. And if the rubber things break over time, then it's metal on metal. And oh man, I don't know. Liftmaster, if you ever want to send me some, I'll try some. I don't do Kevin's guy says I don't do any pricing. Gotcha. I get it. I get it. That's like me. I'm out of the price numbers nowadays. Everybody's, I can still go to you go to like get together, friends or something, and they're like, "Hey, didn't you do garage doors?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did." And they're like, "What's the price on it?" And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm stuck back in 2007. So a 16 by 7 was $716 installed for non insulated. They're like, "Really? That's a good price." I'm like, "Not now, not nowadays." You know, I just tell them, like, you go to Menards or go to your box store, ask them, add 100, $200 on top of it. That's probably going to be the cost for a dealer or for what it'd be for us. You know, got your smartphone, use the smartphone. Oh, Rusty says, "What price?" I was just talking about the maximum. I don't care if it's just a jack shaft. I'm just whatever they're like a jack shaft maximum. I mean, I th- I know they got battery backup, but do they all have battery backup, or can you get some without battery backup? Um, I'm just curious what those things are running. Do do. What's up? 62 here today. Ooh, 62. Wow, that's nice. Was it Idaho? Is it Keelan? Is it Idaho? I can't remember. 62. Um, Kevin says our customers love them. Nice. Kevin, have you had, can you tell me roughly either in your company or yourself, how many have you installed? Um, Any callbacks? What are some of the drawbacks or whatever? They look so monster. They look like a monster. They're just big, they're bulky if they got that battery backup. Um, like they look like a decent opener for like somebody like I'd be okay trying it for like somebody like a 12 by 12, like a barn door. You know what I mean? Like a residential barn, but like the commercial, I don't know, you know. And I don't know how these DCs. I remember I think it was Andy had a video where he tore apart, I think a residential one, and the DC motor, you know, something with a DC motor like came apart, like there was all kinds of like um metallic flakes or whatever. Now it was how do I call it? It's like graphite. It looked like graphite in there. Um where like for me, I've never had an AC motor look like that. You know what I mean? I've had AC motors start drawing and those start blowing out capacitor on like old Oscos, but most of the time it's always um the bearings and stuff like that. That's what goes bad with them. The bearings, or it'll be electronic or something. But these ones, boy, man, the DC motors look like they'll be, and then the gearbox. Andy wasn't, and nobody. I don't know if anybody knows. Are they metal in there? Is there lube in there? Is a sealed gearbox with like 10W30 in there that's going to leak over time? Or is it just grease? Or is it plastic gears? I don't know if anybody's tore apart a Maximum. Send me one. I'll tear it apart. Do, 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 do. Our customers love them. Oh, and by the way, too, Kevin, also, like, what do your customers love about them? Are they just smooth? They're quiet? They like the Wi-Fi? I mean, I'm curious. Oh yeah, what's up, Rich B? Um, just be glad we don't live in Cali. Battery backup is mandatory. I know. I guess it's an easy sell for them, right? They go to a job, they're like, "We can't touch this. We can't work on this. Nope, nope, we can't do it." Battery backup. We must be. Because I'd kind of like to know some of your guys' opinion on this a little bit. When it comes to that, right? There's always kind of that gray area. I've never pulled that card too much, but you know how when you work on something older that needs to be brought up to safety standards, you know, I'm a little bit leery on some of that stuff, right? Sometimes like gate operators or certain things, I'm like, we're not touching that. You know what I mean? Because it's too much of a liability. But for the most part, I don't throw it out there. Um, But I'd like to know your guys' opinion. Obviously, do you guys always flag it? Nope, it doesn't have photo eyes. Sorry, can't touch it. Walk away. All we can do is replace it. Do do do. You think, Rich? Do you know for sure, Rich? Is it? You see, it says it's a cheap aluminum gears. So it's just grease in there, or what? I haven't seen a video of one tore apart, but it could be. Be interesting to know. Because I'm trying to think like on our gate operators that we've worked on. I've had a couple of them. We got one at the shop, our own personal, and one at Brunswick, right? The bowling alley. Wow, pins everywhere. But the gearbox is always leak. Now, trust me, they're old. I mean, we're talking these 10, 20 years old, somewhere in there. 10, 15. The gearbox will start leaking. You know what I mean? And so I'm assuming LiftMaster doesn't have that. I'm assuming it's just grease. And once the grease kind of smushes off somewhere and dries up, it just starts chewing gears. Because how do you service it? Do you tear it apart? Does it have a grease circ on it? Ooh, these are good questions. As a company, probably 50 or more, possibly. Personally, probably 20. So these are questions. These are good questions. So like, Kevin, what do you think long term? Right? Because do you know what the internal parts are? Because I don't. I haven't seen are they just like aluminum gears and it's just grease in there? Um, that's something I never kind of thought about. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that whole right, ball joints, right? Do you get greasable ball joints or do you have the sealed ball joints, right? Everybody's preference is different. If you get the person who's never going to grease them, then obviously you get sealed. If you got the guy that every time he does his oil change, he gives us a couple pumps, well, then get some greasable ones. Helps push the stuff out, supposedly. I'm still always kind of on the fence about it because I used to get real stingy. I blow them out. You know what I mean? Blow the seals. I put too much grease in there. Oh, Max Jack Chef J, and then I love this. This is what Andy was talking about. I loved how he was talking about the weird numbers, the JC7S3421. No SB or whatever BMC. 700 pounds or less is 883. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad price. That's not bad at all. I thought it'd be more, but I think he couldn't do it. His door was 800 and something. Is what you're figuring. But 883, it's not bad. It's not bad. Do, do, do. Smooth and quiet, faster. Yeah, what's your guys' opinion on doors? When I've had really big doors for the road, like road commissions and stuff like that, DPWs, like I think the door lasts longer. I think the door lasts longer if it moves slow. You know what I mean? I think it's easier on the components. Um, I know the customers don't like it. You know what I mean? I understand, I get it. But I've installed a few and the gears were a little different or something in them, and they moved kind of slow. And I didn't want to yank them down and try to re-gear them and stuff. And I'd have the customers go, man, that door moves slow. And I go, that's right. I'm like, slow and steady wins the race. You know what I mean? So that's why I think of them as like on like a more of a residential situation, like somebody with like a barnuminium. That's where I'd see one where I'd want one where I can scoot in. It's my own heat. Um, but like when it's like some of the DPWs and that, man, it ain't their heat. It's they're being paid by the hour. Sure, it is nice to have a faster, but I just curious what you guys think on the speed. I think it wears stuff out faster, honestly. But I'm sure the smoothness on certain applications would be nice. Do 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 do. Rich has got MC Dave. Can't touch that. What's MC? What are you talking about? Is this talking about? Let me know about the MC. I'm thinking MC Hammerhead. Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Can't touch this. I should get that music going. I wonder how that'd work if YouTube would shut me down with music playing live. Dave, that's my price through Clopay. That's interesting. I know. Like I said, I about guarantee it. Like I said before, we got our one place that's our biggest LiftMaster one in Michigan, and I know darn well they'll be right in the same ballpark for price. What's Rich got here? He says, can't say for sure, but that motor and gear case is all. Oh no. What happened? We're processing this video. Am I still on? Oh, ooh, my video got processed. It kicked me off my screen. Sorry about that. All right, Rich has got, he says, can't say for sure, but that motor and gear case is awful small. And I don't think plastic would hold out with that much torque. Oh, he's got MC Hammer. That's right. Can't touch this. See? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny now I think of it, right? I mean, we got some it's making me wonder now. We got some bright people here. And also now I'm sitting here going, damn, What the hell's in the gearbox? You know what I mean? Is it, do you got to pull anything for a vent? Is there a little fill tube? Is it just grease? I can't believe I haven't came across a video on that yet. You know, because I mean, it's just like the worm gears, right? On the Chamberlains or Liftmaster, those plastic gears. Obviously, the grease eventually dries up. See, I've always wanted to test that. I've always been curious. I always thought if you did preventative maintenance on a door and you could prove it, right? Where you're like, hey, I've maintenance this door every year, right? I've gone in there, I oil everything, I grease up the gear. If you get maybe, more like 15, 20, 25, 30 years out of a gear, because most time, when you open them up, it's dry. It's dry, right? I never seen one where it's sopping wet still with grease. It's always dry in there, and then it's got the snowflakes. So the same thing with this gearbox, to me, how it is when gears and they're meshing, it pushes it off to the side. I mean, it will stay, for a while, but how do you service it? Like where, like an AC motor, normally you can get in there in the case and you can spray the bearings and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. Got me thinking now. But if anybody comes across a video, what's inside them dissecting it, the gearbox or anything, or one that's torn apart, let me know. Rich's guy says, just do a little snippet of music. And I got that song stuck in my head. Kevin. Speaking of slow, he says that video of that gearhead. I used a rolling steel sprocket. It takes a full minute to open that door. Dang. So you got to have the right one. Rolling steel. I know rolling steel is it's important on that sprocket. I know that is important. Like that's why I'm always like our one vendor, or if we order direct through Liftmaster, it's always like it's for a sectional. It's for a sectional. You got that as a sectional? It's for a sectional. Because you know how it is like when you're there. Like I can't, like I just don't automatically look at it and go, oh, they sent me the wrong one. I'm just like, I assume this is the right one. I don't even think it says on the packaging that it says like rolling steel. It'll say just whatever. It's a gearhead, 1 horsepower, blah, 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 blah. Kevin says no venting to pull. It's all sealed. Interesting. And I'm trying to think how the gearbox sits on those. Rusty says after a week of commercial door springs changes almost every day, he says I'm buying a brute winder. Oh man, it's about time. It's about time. I'm telling you. Man. It'll save, man. I didn't even there were so many years I didn't notice it, right? But I always knew I had this kind of weird sharp pain. Not sharp pain, it was just a dull pain in my neck area. And then like I said, I don't do it anymore. But for whatever reason, when I was winding springs more often, especially commercial, I would always sleep with my hands. I would literally like constantly all the time catch myself putting my hands, and I think it was to relieve the tension. I don't know for sure. I don't do it anymore. I don't wind springs anymore. I either use a spring turner or I just not in the field as much. So I don't feel that anymore. But even the last one I did with Caleb, I I did the one just to get the feel, and then the second one I was like, it's like, come here. You're gonna grab the spring and you are gonna help me. It's not that I couldn't, it's just that I didn't want to pull something or do something. And I don't think the spring turner would have sat in there too good, just the way they were. And I was already nervous. We were up so high in the lift. I was scared. Oh yeah, Rich B's got he's nice little grease. I don't think I have a picture of it. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Oh shoot! Look at Rich. He's already got MC on here. Let's see if it'll play. Says it's going so slow. I'll look for this picture of his little grease gun while I'm waiting here. Dun, 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 dun. Why is it not playing? Come on, play, MC. I can see you. You know you want to play. But he's got this sweet little grease gun. Pretty nice. I kind of want one. Love it. Love it. Let me jamming out to that tonight. That grease gun. Let me show you. Got sidetracked. Sorry. Music just got me. Maybe it was a different chat. Let's check this out here. See if we can find that little greaser gun. Where are you? Where are you? It's so buried. Oh, look at that. Here it is. There it is. Look at that. Anybody got something like that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're jealous. Cool little grease gun though. Sweet for doing like a sure winder, brute winder, spring turner. I'm sure that worked nice. Nice little handy contraption. Rusty says, what's Rusty got here? He says, I am buying a man lift too. He says, doing solid shaft changes from extension ladders. Oh my gosh, 20 feet in the air. Woo, man. Heck no. Heck no. Heck no. Heck no. I know that's actually a good idea. We I've been seeing I don't know if the market is just my opinion. The market seems kind of soft. I've been finding stuff for really good price right now. I've been seeing scissor lifts around our area for all of 42, 43, 2017 models. Decent looking, you know what I mean? Good. I mean, so it's kind of like, I think, if you want to buy something, I think it's a good time to buy right now. I don't think the market's stressed. I think people are moving product or whatever, or kind of hurting for money. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't even know for sure if I would entertain the whole, we still might get out of it during the summertime because we're renting one. It's like 460, I think, a month ish, and nice piece of equipment. But still it's $460, like I said. And so it doesn't add up too long to your, but right now it's just nice. We don't have to maintenance it. We don't take care of it. We have a problem. We have a person on hand, right? We can take it to them, all that good stuff, which is what I kind of like. So that is kind of the saving grace. All right. But yes, you definitely, like I said, man, it's night and day. When I went down and worked with Josh, I love Josh. There's his business card right up there. You can't see it, but oh my gosh, he's working off ladders. We're doing those, whatever they were, 12 by 14s. Up and down, up and down. You forget something, son of a biscuit. I gotta go back down this ladder. Talk about your crotch gets sore. Let's just say, you know what I mean? It's time for a shower. I mean, it was so hot, and I was just like, there was concrete in there, and I told myself, the heck with this. It's, I'd feel comfortable doing the stuff all day long by myself with a scissor lift. But when you got to work off a ladder and you got to keep moving it, and then, when you mount the springs and you got to move over and to try to wind the springs, you got to climb. Oh, no, man. That's the problem we had with our old scissor lift right now. You could bring it up, but once it was up, you couldn't move it. And oh my gosh, that's almost a safety hazard, because if you're ever doing like big commercial springs and you need to slide or move the lift out so you can drag the spring off the shaft or something, you can't move, man. You're hanging off the lift. It's not fun. Little grease gun. 24 foot in the air is fun, but slow. Rich says, Day got a spring turner he might have for sale. Yeah. You want to buy a spring turner? I think the spring turner is going to go with me to the grave, unfortunately. Rich B used once, dropped twice, right? Used once and dropped twice. Yeah, there you go. Pretty much. I love it. Liftmaster is the best. Says, hey, what's going on? Liftmaster is best. Catch up to speed. Does the maximum have metal gears, plastic gears? Do you know? Anybody tear one apart? Somebody's got to find a video out there. There's got to be somebody out there tearing one apart. Come on, Andy, tear one apart for us, would you? I'm using the Lucas, the red and tacky, and it works great. I like that red and tacky stuff. I use that quite a bit. I got it in my Milwaukee grease gun. I've had it works. Dun, dun. What's it got here? Dave says I'm going to buy a new one. He says it's about 1,100 new and 6,000 for used, couple years old, and $200. I think I'm gonna go new. It might not be a bad idea. Like I said, I was coming across. I think I came across something, and they were saying how robust the scissor lifts are, and I think I agree. I agree, but I mean, there's all different ways, right? Obviously, it could be a tax write off. It could be new. You just don't have to typically worry about it. But sometimes like new cars, you know how it is. It's kind of irritating. You get a new one, then you put scratches in it. You're kind of bummed. Scissor lifts don't seem like that bad, but if it's got a hose that's out of place that somebody didn't install right, and it gets pinched and you blow a line. But I know the batteries are very important. That's the big thing. That's been the kicker in the hiney for me is the batteries. Like I said, I bought the one. I should have known. I told the guy, no, I'll just drive it a little bit right through the gravel and I'll put it. And he's like, no, 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 I'll just fork it on there for you. It's not a problem at all. And I was like, okay. Cause he had like a concrete pad outside his building, but then it was all gravel and it was hard packed gravel. And I used the lift, I went up and down with it. And I was like, all right, it seems like everything's working as it should. I moved it back and forth a few times. I trusted the guy. And I was like, no, I'll just drive it across the gravel. I know it'll drive across this. I can tell how the packness of it. And he was like, no, no, I'll just fork it on there. And I was like, okay. And it's probably because he knew when I was trying to, if I was trying to go up my ramps, that thing was going to hesitate and I would have questioned it. So anyways, we got it. We started using it. It was kind of working, but you could tell the batteries are weak. At least you think. And so you play these mind games like, is it the batteries? What year are the batteries? Of course, you can't find a date on the batteries and they look clean, but are they rebuilt or refurbished? So I put a new set of batteries in it, which sucked because there's, whatever, $1,200. That's like, oh, man, I just spent this money. And then, then it wasn't too long later, the damn thing left me stranded. The guys went out to a job, of course, to do it on a late night. Well, let's just get this job done. I think I sent like 3 guys out there to knock this job out. And I get the phone call, they're there and they're like, the lift is dead. And I'm like, what do you mean the lift's dead? They're like, I don't know, but it's dead. We used it or something. And it like now it won't charge. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to run around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to find a 48-volt charger, which the only thing I could find was a golf cart charger that would even consider doing that. Looking back now, I probably should have just called it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I look back at it. I should have just went, you know what, boys, call her a night. And you guys just leave the trailer there or whatever, or come on back. And I should have called, I probably should have just called the tow truck. But sometimes you turn into Superman, Super Dave. And you think you're gonna, so I'm running around, I'm on Marketplace, messaging people, do you got it? Is it still available? Can I come pick it up right now? I had to like go to this trailer park that was like south of them and pick it up. And like the person like handed it to me in a trailer park. And they're, nothing against trailer park, but it's not like a shed. And I'm like, does it work? They're like, yeah, I think so. It worked last time, I know. And I'm like, oh, please hope. Here's $30. And then you run out there, you try to hook it up. It ain't going to charge enough in the time that you need it to be. You got guys calling what should we do? We got it on the trailer, but we had to winch it on. There's no forklift there because it's a car dealership, Then they had to close. And I was like, well, can we lock the door behind us? No, they won't do that. Variables. Far away, hour to hour and 15 minutes away, one way. And the tow truck driver wouldn't have cared. He'd be like, I'm on the clock, baby. Takes me an hour to drive out there. Takes me an hour to hook up. It's going to take me an hour to drive back. That's what your bill's going to be. So like I said, new, good. Used, questionable. Cheaper. We can thank OSHA for that. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Sup, boys? Evan's in the house. I agree as well. What did I miss? What did I miss? What are you guys talking about here? What can we thank OSHA for? Um, I agree as well. Sup, boys? Let's see here. Kevin's guy says most of the new lifts are coming with 500-pound lift sensor. Oh, won't go up if it's overweight. Two guys and springs, and you're over. Kevin's kind of right with that. I know. Mr. Tanner. Mr. Tanner was talking about this. Something that I think he ended up buying brand new ones and he ended up selling them and bought, I think it's in like 2017, if I remember right. I could be wrong with that. That the 2017 or older don't have that. I did mention that to this guy and that was another reason why I wanted to rent to try to see the new features or any kind of safeties or because with them being rentals and stuff, they normally give us stuff that's maybe a year or two old. It's not very old stuff, and then they're going to be on top of their safeties on it. So that way, if the guy, you start hearing from the guys going, man, this thing is nothing but a piece of whatever. Okay, well, that's why we're renting. We're not going to buy this model anymore. Because even Genie lifts used to have a certain. Uh, so the one that we purchased, our bigger one, the controller really irritated me. I forget what the one was. You have to like the one we have is not so bad. It'll deactivate. Then you can push the button, but it stays on. Where like the other ones, like you have to like wake it up. You have to like hold a button or something to make like I can't remember how it is on the controls, but it was annoying. And I always told myself, do not buy this scissor lift, for controller because if it annoys the hell out of me, it's going to annoy the hell out of the workers. And it just drove me nuts um how it operated. I don't mind it when it's sitting there, it's just idle and you just push a button to whichever you got to activate it. But to do something that's like push here, hold this, blink twice. No, I mean, I need this thing to work. I'm trying to, I'm not making money here playing around with a lift. I need to get working. Do do do. But that guy did say at the rental place that all their lifts, anyways, come with the 500. And I do remember years ago when I was going to purchase a new one, I was dealing with some kind of like salesperson that's like regional, and he sent me a bunch of information. And that was when I learned that they had a 300-pound and they had a 500-pound. And I was like, oh, I was like, I wonder if that's why the one, because even our big lift, we thought the batteries, so we changed the batteries in it. That didn't seem to help. We thought maybe the cylinder, and we bought it from the rental company. And I don't know how to read the labels or anything to tell, but I know that one is the same way. It'll do it. It won't freak out, but it'll do like the brrr, just sit there and you have to like climb the door, right? Help it with two guys. And you guys know how it is. If you're doing commercial stuff, sometimes you got two springs in there. Sometimes you got four springs in there, depending if you go up with two springs and then you take two springs out and you forget something, you try to go back up. You got a bucket full of tools. You got nuts and bolts and a bin. I mean, you can easily, get up there and wait. Put a solid shaft in there. You got couplers. Oh, it adds up. Some spray lube. Spray lube ain't probably too much, but do do. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, you have to jump up and down. I know I'm kind of curious because when Kevin mentioned that, I don't know if the new sensor just completely like some of them. I thought Cap was telling me on one of them on a job. They had something. It was a rental through the GC, but I don't remember how this came back, but the GC came back and told them like, that thing recorded something that you guys did that the rental company caught. Like either it was maxed out and he was just saying how, basically these things are being, like they'll monitor all the stuff you're doing. And I thought, holy crap, man. Like, so like it freaked out. And I don't know if they couldn't get it out of the, some kind of weird safety or something. Some of the stuff's just getting to be too high tech. Do 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 do. I think ours, like, what is it? Oh, the thing, if the things don't get out, it'll beep. That's not so bad. Our older one, our older genie. Bunch of older uh is that Ozemta? What is that? Bunch of older techs start taking Zimta. Is that like a pain? Is that pain medicine or something, Evan? Rusty says I charge for drive time when I go get parts. Yeah, you're on the clock. I would, you know. You're on the clock, baby. Uh, what's Rich got here? It says not letting you move the lift when it's up. Is that a new feature that they're doing? Because that's not cool. You got to have that. That's a feature you want. I can't tell you how many times, as much as I don't want to move a scissor lift when I'm up in the air, I can't tell you how many times it comes in very handy because um, for me, so what were you doing? Oh, we were doing that one. Perfect example, right? If you guys watch that older video of me doing that, the J50 opener, I literally have to go up. I have to go over a beam, right? So I have to drive in over a crane beam, and then I have to push the platform out, and then I have to do the same thing. I have to back out. Um, I know Cap just did something at the fire department. Same thing. He had to push the platform. He couldn't get the platform. He was concerned, and the old one wasn't going to come back in. So he was like, if it don't come back in, I can't drive out. So there's so many times I've had it too where I'm up in the air. I've actually had the wife trying to help me. And we've been there, and it's like you get to a point and it's like I'm all doing everything I can. She's doing everything she can, and I'm like, back the lift up, and it's like, and she's like, it won't move. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, it's like plan B, plan D, dump it. You ever lose a spring? I have once. That was embarrassing as hell. I lost a spring between the lift and the door. Makes a hell of a sound. Boom! It hits the ground. It'll get people that are out smoking cigarettes to come inside. Guys, okay up there? Not really. I just soiled myself. Elevators are amazing in the house. How you doing? Hello, it's been a while since I've been on one of your live streams. So great to be back on here again. Absolutely great to have you here. Mm. Evan says, "Is that a dad joke, Rich?" Been there, done that. Climb the door like Dave too. Yeah, done that many times. You're just in the motion. Um, what were we doing? Oh, it was me and Caleb when we were working on that opener job. I let him run it, right? It's like I let him run. I'm like, yeah, you run it, man. Like I'm gonna sit over here like Donald Trump and just take a minute to look around. And he's all of a sudden over there doing something with we're halfway up in the lift, and he's sitting there doing the joystick thing, and I'm like, seriously? I mean, the first time I let you drive the damn thing, and you already broke it. And he's like, I don't know, and I'm like, give it to me. I go over there and I start looking around. I'm like, holy crap, I think the battery's dying. I'm like, I look at the button, it tells you. I'm like, oh my dude, we got like one bar blinking. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, and we got like one last stroke we got to do, right? It's like the last push up. I'm like, well, we ain't going down. I was like, we got to go back over to that opener and turn that switch on. I was like, that power. And I'm not letting somebody in a forklift in a basket around here no, I'm good, man. Like, otherwise, we're going to have to go park this thing for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, let it charge, and then bring it back, But by the time we travel, we're already killing the battery. So I'm like, no, we're staying halfway up because that's where it seems like it takes the most energy out of them is always the up and down cylinders. And if you drive a long ways, but so we ended up driving over to it and I had just enough to get up there. The thing actually stopped, right? So I had to take like a winding bar and kind of step on the railing and turn the old switch on. And it was like, whew, man, I'm glad we're done for the day. Like, that's it, man. We're done. Like we're good. So it's so nice to have options. You want the lift to be able to move when you're up in the air. That's huge. Mm. Do-do-do-do. Welcome back. We know life, gods. It's up and downs. It does. Is that a, oh, I must have missed that one. Welcome back. I missed that one. How did I miss? Am I missing these? Mm, been there, done that. Climb. Says we always put a cup over the beeper and blinking light. Oh yeah. The beepers. Sometimes they bury those little beepers. They're kind of a bear to find. Sometimes tape works good too, because that way you don't have to like able it, but it still beeps, but it's not like the annoying, especially if you're on the ground, like when you're doing work. God, man, those guys are up there working that beeping. Oh, what's Liftmaster guy here? He says, I've once had old wood garage doors. Once had old wood garage doors, by the way. Old wood ones. Ooh. Burn them, man. I used to burn a lot of garage doors. The wood ones, anyways. Burn them and they make a hell of a mess, especially when they got struts on them. Elevators, guy said I'm ready for spring too. Come up soon. It's coming, man. It's coming fast. I can't believe we already flew through February. February just flew by for me, anyways. So it's just it's crazy, right? We got March, then it's April. April showers bring May flowers, and it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's gonna be a good year. Hopefully, it's game on, baby. Da, da, da. They were extremely heavy. Those wood garage doors, yeah. Normally, I try to go 3/4 horse chain drive. If they're residential, go the I rail. I've done that before because sometimes wood doors, even though if you got them balanced out pretty good, they're just so big and luggy. You know, do 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 do. Elevator says amazing, are amazing me too. Let's see here. Rusty's got elevators. He says, I think it's starting because this week I sold 6 stores that our people got their tax refund back. See, that's a good thing. I'm glad Rusty brought that up. That's a good thing. That's great, you guys. Because I was just listening to a auto and I was talking about this a while back ago, how I might see that spring, that little burst and it might plateau out. It seems like it happens. I can't say for sure, but it seems like that's normally how it works. You'll get this little burst. You're like, whoa, here we go, man. And then it's like all of a sudden it kind of shuts off again. You're like, what happened, man? And it's because all of a sudden people's pockets got some money in it and they feel like they're invincible and they can get some stuff done. Right. I was listening to, there was a great, I forget what the name of it is. There's a car guy and he was saying how people, I think you get about a month. Maybe you guys can let me know what you think. You get about a month of tax season. People got that money and they're going to spend it. You know what I mean? So I'd kind of agree with that. You know what I mean? You get about a month. They burn through it. Some resis. So that's what I was talking about. Some of you might see it. Don't go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, don't, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I got to go buy this now. I got to go buy this because I'm so busy. It might be a fluke for a little bit. You know what I mean? And then by the time your new truck and that comes in, you might be like, it's not that busy. What am I going to do? I got to do more in advertising right now. That's why I always talk about like the flows, ups and flows of it. You know what I mean? Some weeks you need 5 guys, some weeks you need 20 guys. Rusty says, I don't get what you're talking about. Sadly, Rusty's talking about the spring rush to tax season. You have been reaching out to anyone and trying to get some sales. Got the smiley. Master, he says, I wanted to tell you that I sometimes watch your videos and they're very good. Do you take requests or do you not take requests on videos? I take requests. I don't even know if I've ever watched Liftmasters is the best. Is that your channel name? Let me know what your channel name is. Because I don't think I'm hooked up to yours. Rich has got, it says we move the clocks forward in 2 weeks. Oh boy. The old clocks. Would you like anything? LiftMaster is the best. What openers do you have in your garage? Oh, here we go again with these long. I have the B2211T and a 8165. Easy. 8165. Boom. Elevators. Rusty, sorry, says I didn't see your comment. I have been reaching out to anyone's sales because I don't have plans to. Oh, oh. What's Rich guy here? Then they're broke as a joke. Yes, yes. That's why I think we need to make a calendar. We could sell a calendar for all the new people and they could understand. Because like I said, there was a guy that told me that. He goes, he always kept telling me, I didn't really know what he meant. You know what I mean? But he kept going, you know how it is, Dave. He goes, the seasons. The seasons of being a garage door installer, And I'm like, I don't. I'm so new. I don't. And so, but now I see it, right? It's always, towards the end of the year, it's hustle, 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 run, run. We got to get this job. We got to get this we want to get this money spent for this tax year. You need to get this job done. I got caught up in that one time. We had to get it done by the end of the year. That screwed us badly. We were doing turnstiles for a company. I went down to Chicago, bought them. They were not as good a quality. They burned us for years and years. The problems they had. Never again. Never again. Now I look at it and I go, okay, you want to play that way? You want to do it that way? We're just going to give you an invoice and you can just pay us and we're going to order it. It's still going to take 3 or 4 weeks after the new year and we'll get the stuff, and then it's like now, right? You see a little bit of a whoop. I've noticed it in the business. I've noticed in other businesses, there's a little whoop, going on right now. And it's like, I'm sure it's because some people got some money in the pocket. That's why I keep wondering, if they do that 5,000 through Mr. Trump, I wonder. I don't know. I don't know. Good or bad. Good or bad. I don't know. When I already seen their steel prices increased, or our one vendor, at least our fence vendor, it's probably coming down the garage doors pretty soon. They're going to have increases too. Where do you plan to get the leads? It is Rusty. What do you mean? Evan's pretty sure the door install I got coming up is an insurance claim. Since they are just replacing the damaged door. Ooh. Well, that changes things a little bit, Evan. What am I forgetting, ladies and men? What am I forgetting that with insurance, they're going to, I know Evan's got insurance. He's got insurance now. Am I missing something that they're going to want? They're going to obviously going to, hopefully, Evan, you got they're probably going to want you to have a bank account. They're going to cut you a check to. Well, no, I can't say that for sure. Normally they'll give it to the homeowner and the homeowner issues it. So how do you do that? And if the homeowner's buying the door, no problem. But like I said, if you're going to have to order the door and stuff like that, probably want to get half down to cover your hiney. Because man, I'd hate for them. Just people do such weird things. Man, I had one the other day. I didn't do the at nighttime, the evening time, verify with a customer, went out the next day. We already had a set time and it was like, they're not responding. It's like, fudge. What do I do now? When time is short, time is sweet. And it's like, so you had to keep in motion. Luckily they got back and they said, yeah, we're good for the, X time. And I'm like, ooh, my gosh, I should have messaged them the night before. Said, hey, you good? You good? You still good? Do you do Rusty's got elevators? Do you do install doors? Rusty, no, he works on elevators, man. He's got the elevators. He's making the big bucks. He ain't screwing around with no little tin can garage doors. Just joking. Service, or are you not in the garage door industry? He says. My channel name used to be was it Jaden? And it changed it now. It's Liftmaster is the best. Oh, perfect. I'll have to check it out. Rusty's got. Evan, make sure that they will pay you when you complete the job. Sometimes insurance jobs take a while to pay. Yeah, I know insurance is a little bit goofy sometimes. I know most of the time with insurance jobs, I've had them insurance is kind of weird. Correct me, put your 2 cents in. 'Cause I'm not an expert by them any means, but you know what I've noticed over the years is for one, I've had insurance companies call me for directly. And they've whittled me down on the price before. They're like, the average standard. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they whittled me down like $70 or $100 or $200. And, that's why for me, I always had my list when I did jobs. I'd always have, here's my direct cost. Here's with shipping. Here's with tax. Here's my labor. Like this is my bottom number. Like here's break even. Here's some profit. And that way I could always look at it when they'd call me on certain things. Cause when you get really busy, you got so many fires you're putting out and customers and stuff, and I can't remember all the numbers. So you need that stuff. Um, so it just depended on how busy and if I wanted the job or not, and how great it was and how close it was. And so that was always one thing. Sometimes insurance companies, they act like they don't even care. They just want you just call one person. Some insurance companies I've had, they want three quotes. So you go out there and the customer will tell you, yeah, my insurance company said I had to get three quotes. I've had it sometimes where I've actually upgraded the customer to a little bit nicer. Not saying anything, you know what I mean? But I've upgraded them a little bit to a nicer door. That was kind of a way to get their business a little bit. Um, you just never know. Insurance is just different. What always got me, which ticked me off a lot, started having like a trend of it where I'd go out and I'd price it, and they'd say something about insurance. It's insurance, my insurance can pay, blah, blah, blah. And I'd always be like, are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, and I might wiggle the numbers around a little bit because they might tell me it's $1,000 deductible or something, or it's 5,000. And I'm like, we're at like 45 or, 52 or something. I'm like, let's make it 49. You know what I mean? And, you pay me or you pay the insurance, you know what I mean? And they're like, okay, I'm just going to pay you. Um, so there's all kind of different ways to play them, but what got me, what I was getting at, is that they'd pay the customer, and then the customer never would use me. They'd either buy the door themselves, or have Uncle Bobby do it on the side, or find whoever was the cheapest. And I never got the job, but I went out there, wasted my time. I gave them an estimate. They used my estimate for insurance, whatever, ticked me off. And so I thought, this is crummy that the insurance company does not just issue them a check, say this check has to go to this company. We're sorry. But they don't care, right? The customer's happy, they're taken care of, that claim is done, and they move on with their lives. But as a technician or a business owner, you can spend a lot of time, a lot of time and gas and money. And, when you lose a lot of your summer evenings trying to chase money, it gets kind of annoying. Um, doo-doo-doo. Hey, elevator, he says, lift master. He says, I think I thought of a request. Do you think you could do a video garage door of Chamberlain, the B2211T, a lift master 8165, just to see how they're doing? Says sure. Awesome. So I don't know for sure, Rusty. They said they're gonna pay cash. Nice. That's perfect. That is perfect. I'll never forget a toll company around where the shop is. Um, been around for many, many, many years, way longer than me. And I was talking to the guy on the phone the one day, and I said, "Hey," I said, how do you want to get paid?" I said, "I can, you want a check, you want a credit card, you want, I mean, whatever." And I always will never forget when he said, "We'll do cash. Cash is simple." I went, "Damn!" I went, "That's strong." And they always got really religious stuff. I'll put on like containers in their trucks and stuff, or certain little spots they put them on. They're just it's just a great little family Christian company, a little tow truck company. And I just remember, I'll never forget that he goes, "Cash is simple." And I went, "Oh man," I said, "I'm going to use that," because that is like, if a customer listens to cash is simple. And I went, man, that hit home. Cash is simple. That's right. I don't have to track it down. I know if you get some funny money, that's always a bummer. But if it's fake, is what I mean. But I don't have to worry about is this check going to clear? You take it to your bank, especially when you're just starting out, and they go, "Do you have an account here?" And you go, "No." Well, it's going to be $5, sir, or $10 or $20 for us to cash it for you. And you're like, "I don't care. Just give me my money." Sir, can I ask you what do you plan on doing with this money? It's $1,200. What do you do with $1,200? Buy groceries. That's about it. Trusty, they said they're gonna pay cash. In USA, you will need a tax ID number to do business. I can't remember if the insurance companies. I don't think the insurance, like I said, it depends, right? Obviously, if they're going to pay cash, the insurance company's going to pay them. So then you're probably good. If you know what I mean. Like you shouldn't. Don't take legal advice from me. I do not want to see you in court. Do not sue me, bro. But if they're paying cash, you're clear. You're good. They might want a receipt, and then do your taxes accordingly. But it's a good idea. Like I said, if you're dealing with them direct, then yes, then you probably need insurance. You need tax ID. You might need a few other things they'll throw at you. Just price it good, Evan. Yeah, I was wondering, Evan, too. You can let me know off air too or on air. Doesn't matter. I was thinking, are they purchasing the door? Are you going to purchase the door? Or how's that going to work? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I really am. I think that's awesome. I don't know for sure. They said, let's see here, tax IDs, or don't give a receipt. I just got to watch. I had a battery put in, $10. The lady is like, right now with the stuff. I said, I don't. She said it was $9 and like 40 something. I said, how about we just make it $10 even? She's like, if you want. She was so nice. She was such a sweet lady. She's like, if you want. I'm like, yeah, here's $10. And then she's like, right. And I said, I don't need a receipt. And she's like, if you don't want one, like I don't need a receipt for. I ain't gonna remember. Bring it back. This battery only lasted a day. You know, for a battery. Oh no, thanks. Whatever. Put the $10 in your pocket, man. Obviously, we see all the corruption, right? It's all coming to the surface now. I know it's always been there. They spend our money just like nothing, like candy. They waste it. Dun, dun. You should work on Big Ben, was it say Elizabeth Tower elevator for maintenance when you get older. Big job, big job. Oh, I won't have plans for that anytime soon. Dun, 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 dun. What's Evan got here? We got 4 likes too, by the way. Dang, look at you guys. Evan, he says, me and says girlfriend went to Dairy Queen for ice cream today. Their debit machine had problems. Ooh, both of us got charged. I walked back in and got my money back. Nice. Nice. I'm glad Evan brings that up because the thing is too is like what I've noticed as I getting older. So like we some of our highways, they got vending machines and they want a credit card now. They don't do cash or coins or anything. And I'm like, for a vending machine, I'm not using my card. I'm not using my card for something that's $1, $2, or $3. And I would encourage most people just kind of like the same thing with the Dairy Queen. More likely, this is why for me, as a young man, even when I was driving my vehicle when I first started driving, I'd always hide like $20 in my car because it was I don't know why, but it was always inevitable that I would go to the gas pump, right, and I would be in my own little world, listen to music or whatever, get out of the vehicle, and I would start pumping gas. And as soon as I start getting maybe a gallon or something or two into the tank, I do the pat. Does anybody else do the pat? The normally in the pants, the back pocket, and it's like, oh, I ain't got my wallet, and you're like, how could this be? And well, you changed pants, you got home after work or something, and you threw them down and forgot to grab the wallet. And you look at the pump, and the first thing you do is you grab the pump and you squeeze the handle, whatever, to shut it off. And then you're like, it says there's $8 or there's $12. Holy crap! How am I going to pay for this? I ain't going to have enough change in my ashtray. You guys don't even have ashtrays anymore. I'm the only one that got ashtrays anymore. And so, you know, but I don't always have in the ashtray. I normally would have 20 bucks for that reason. So at least I could walk back in there and be like, hey, I need to pay for my $8 or $10 worth of gas. And I wouldn't have to get trapped there. But what I'm getting at is I always would carry enough cash, typically for a tow truck driver, is the way I've always looked for it. If I break down the side of the road, but I would definitely encourage, as I've gotten older, certain places I've used my card, and I do use the card at the gas station quite a bit because I don't want to go in. Most of it's all prepaid, self-pay, prepay. But I get it. But a lot of the small, like for us around here in the States, it's kind of weird. Most of our ice cream places, they don't take credit card. So you have to pay it cash. Everything's cash. But like I said, I always encourage, just for that reason, because anytime you use that card, you don't know if it's going to get hacked. You don't know if it's going to be, especially right. And that's why you also always want to use a credit card, not a debit card, because then you can always dispute the charges. If it's a debit card, you're screwed. The money's already out. They already got into your system. I've seen that way too many times. So you're always, as you get older, you're always trying to protect yourself. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants to get in your pocket, right? All the scammers, the tax man, um, business, everything out there is just trying to get in your pockets. Mm. Do, 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 do. When my girlfriend tried her card, it said insignificant funds. I was like, that's not right. She makes more, she makes more than me. Oh, and here's another little life advice, right? Um, as I've gotten older, right? I make some huge ass purchases, right? When I go to the stores, right? It could be, for one, now I got kids. And if anybody's got kids, those little sons of biscuits can eat. And so I make huge purchases at grocery stores. I make huge purchases typically when I go to department stores, right? The lumber yard and stuff like that. It's supplies for rentals. It's supply, like most things I try to get offline because of the time. It's so much easier for me to forward something to the Wifetron through Amazon, and it's cheaper and it's quicker, and versus me spending my time driving there, right? Wear and tear, get in a car accident, at the intersection, all that kind of stuff. So like when I got this thing on my phone as notes. So I'm always constantly, anytime it comes across, because I forget like a son of a gun. So anytime I come across, hey, we need Windex. Hey, we need a 2x4. Hey, I need screws. Hey, I need lubricant. Hey, I need this. I put a list, boom, boom, boom. So like when I go to the store, I look like one of those weird people, because like people be like, what is this guy? Like he's got 2 shopping carts full. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, like I come out once a month. You know what I mean? When I have to stop at these stores. And it's more often than that. But what I've found is I value my time so much that if I get out on the checkout, because I've had it happen, things just happen. I had a card where basically what I'm getting is if I'm purchasing something, I have enough cash to purchase it. So if they run that card and they go, the card doesn't, it's whatever, 300, 600, $900. I go, okay, I don't have a problem. I go, school you, not you personally, but the business. I go, I'll just pull out cash. You want me to stop counting? Are we there yet? Okay. Okay. Cause I'm taking my stuff. I spent a lot of time in your store going through, and now you want to tell me card. Now I'll tell you one, I just had one a month or so ago. And what was it? I had a card. Now this is the silliest crap I've ever heard. Right. And I'm telling it for just people life advice here. So don't mind me. We're a little rant. I had one of the kids purchasing, I think it was some kind of shirt, sweater, something. She tries entering it. She's having problems. It's being declined of some sort. And of course, when you do it online, it always glitches out kind of differently, right? And I'm like, what the heck is going on here, right? So I mentioned it to the wife, and she's like, I have no idea. She's like, there's obviously the funds are good. Like so I'm like, God darn it. So I call the company, right? The credit card company. And I'm talking to the lady. And now, mind you, that was a year ago, and I was doing heavy renovations and some rentals and stuff and property. And I'm talking to the lady, and she's like, "Does it say silver on the card?" And I'm like, "No, but it's not expired or anything. It says it's good for like another 3 years or something, you know." And she's like, I said, "I think it says black. I can barely read it. They put like some, like weird scribble on it." And I'm like, "I think it says black, and it's blackish color, gray, I guess. It doesn't say silver." And she's like, "You're supposed to have a silver card." And I'm like, "What the hell does it matter? What the card? It's got numbers on it. It's not expired. The funds are good." What? And she goes, "Well," she goes, "The problem is," she goes, "the black is for people that spend, the black card is for people that spend over 30,000 a year with us. And you haven't spent over, the previous year now or the current year, you haven't spent over 30,000 with us. So since I didn't spend over 30,000 with you guys on this particular card, I get demoted to a silver card instead of a black card." I thought this is the most retardedest. Like, I was telling Caleb about this, and maybe one day my kids will see this. But I said, "This is the most silliest thing I've ever seen." I said, I said, "Have you ever been to a family event? Does somebody walk around with their card? Like when they pull it out?" I've never been with nobody. I'm just asking. I've never experienced, I've never wanted to offer it. I've never pulled out my credit card and was like, "Hey boys, I got the black edition." That's because I'm a high spender. I mean, I've just never been to a family event or anybody that's pulled out. It's pull out a card, you use it, you do your business, and you go on with your day. And I could not believe, I said, I'm sitting there going, "So my card has been declined because I don't spend over a certain amount. So now I got dropped down, but the card is still good." So they have to reissue me another card, which of course takes, 5 to 7 business days. And it's, what an inconvenience. What a freaking joke. I got multiple other cards. It doesn't problem. Hey, popcorn. Oh, well, popcorn's hanging out. He's antisocial. So, anyways, I just thought that was weird. I just thought, what a crock of crap. You start as you get older, you learn stuff, how stuff is just, it's corrupt, it's garbage. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, I'm holding the card. It says it's not expired. Why isn't this card working? Because you didn't spend over. Okay, give me the lowest one, and then let me spend. Whatever. It's stupid. Mm, more than me. Will your next video be called the next time you upload? Also, how your job been going so far? I don't know if that's for me or if that's for Liftmaster. Evan says, "This is my first install." Oh, he's talking about Evan here. Okay. He says, Simplicity says, "I'm just going to have them pay for it and have it delivered," which I think is smart. Like I said, if it saves you from having to haul a trailer, build a trailer, buy a trailer, want a trailer, or build an extension rack or haul it on the top, just have them deliver it and see how they do. You know what I mean? Start kind of grade them, score them. Do you have to prepay? Evan says, "Do you have to prepay for gas down there?" Yeah, we have to prepay, unfortunately. Gotta get naughtiness before they cause trouble. But yeah, we prepay pretty much for everything. And like I said, I don't even want to go in. I don't want to go into the gas station if I don't have to. You know what I mean? You just sit there and wait in line. You always get that person. You're like, "Oh my gosh," they got to tell the clerk their life story or something, and it's like, "Oh my gosh." Tony's in the house. Is it that time? It is that time. I'll be darned. Tony, what's up? Hope you're doing good, man. We miss you. You coming back? When you coming back, Tony? We miss you. Rusty's guy. He said, "Always have cash in the truck in case I see something cool." Oh yeah, customer's garage. That's a good idea too. I've bought guns for 4-wheelers and cars while doing service calls. Yeah, exactly. No, it's good to have that. I agree. Oh, Liftmaster is the best. He says, "Unfortunately, I have to go." Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Hope you have a good night, good weekend. Yeah, it's always a good idea. Sometimes when I travel farther, I always want to make sure I got more cash. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you'd be on a hunt for a trailer or something, or you just come across something, it catches your eye, and you can turn and flip it, make a few bucks. That's always good too. Depends on the neighborhood. See ya, Jay. Tony, me too, Rusty. By the best time you see this, I'll be offline, but have a good night. All right. Thank you, Evan. Bye. Let's see here. Evan's got Rusty. I had customer give me a bunch of 1/8 cable. That's weird. Is it like good? It sounds spool like our normal garage door stuff. Is there any difference between a cable, garage door cable, and just regular cable? Like, could it be something that's not right stuff? Not enough strands? I don't know. Mm. Did you get the cable ends to make your own? I will eventually, dude. I'm telling you, man. I know they're expensive, but if you can get one of those nice red boxes, those make life. I've tried the bins. They work, but they're not as organized. Where it's so nice to flip up the lid and everything's labeled, and that way you know how to restock. I know they run whatever they're like 300-400 bucks, but I really think they're worth the money. Um, and they got everything in there. It's like a to-go emergency. That's really nice. Do 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 do. Evan says, I will eventually. He says, "Oh, I saw your cute cat." I know that's Popcorn. I guess that's what they named him, Popcorn. He's a little feisty little son of a gun because he's still young. He's learning though. He's learning the ropes. I was hoping the spade and neuter was going to tone him down a little bit, but he's still full of vinegar. Elevator, he says, ask you a question. He says, sir, he says, how often do you work? So for me, that's kind of a loaded question. I typically don't work the 12 to 14 to 17-hour days I used to. But I am typically, I probably put in at least, I'm always about 8 to 10 hours a day of work of some sort. And the thing is, I don't do a lot of my stuff is like, how do you explain it? Um, a lot of stuff is behind the scenes. Like, we got one of the workers, wanted is raising money for like foot or not football. I think it was for baseball team. So I got to get that orchestrated, find out who's cut the check to. I got the contractors I deal with. I got my property managers that I deal with. So it's like normally it's like during the day, I still kind of have the same role where I used to, like in the business so much, where it was like you're waiting for the problems to come in, and that's what I still do. And then if I have to, what I'll do is I'll normally stay busy with a property or something, but if I have to, I'll get pulled off. I'll bring another contractor in or somebody, or I'll sub it out to help. But I'm always just trying to fit the puzzle pieces together. That's what I kind of do most of the time. So I don't work as physically; it's more mentally um, than physically sometimes. But sometimes I get pulled on some of those jobs that some of those videos you guys see, and it's just like I'm trying to pull a Hail Mary, man. It happens. But far as I'm concerned, you should always be, if you're trying to ever get ahead or trying to do stuff, you got to be like for Evan's doing, I believe, the right stuff. He's answering the phone. You got to be on top of that phone. That phone is everything, right? You work so hard to get that phone to ring, right? People out there be on Google or first people don't. You got to answer that phone. That's why if it was me and I'm doing a business, right, I'd be changing my voicemail every day. I'd set a time. I get up at whatever you want to get, 4, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be on that phone, changing that voicemail. Hi, this is Dave with Affordable Door and Gate. I'm sorry that I missed your call. I'm with a customer at the moment. Please leave me a message. I'm in the office today till 5 p.m. Or till 8 p.m. if you want. You know what I mean? Make yourself more available. I'm in the office today. It's Wednesday. Whatever, February 28th, February 28th till 8 p.m. today. Please leave me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you'd like a faster response, you may also try to text me, and some people will do that, right? You got to coach them. You got to teach them which way to go. But that phone is everything. You got to get that phone. especially when you're first starting out. You got to hustle. Now, it's like I said, I get some of the guys. I got a brother-in-law that's kind of doing it too. He's traveling a lot. I don't think that's the good thing because when I think of traveling, all I think about is how you're going to warranty it. What if you have a problem? What if it's your fault, not your fault? Um, so that's why I agree, with the whole 5 Mile Famous. If you can really hunker down, because the thing is when you're traveling too, you're losing time of advertising local. And this happened to me so many times. I would go out to a job, right? I'd be like, well, I mean, I ain't got nothing to do today, right? So I might as well go do this job and do something. But it was almost like you're doing that job to stay busy in a sense, to think you're making money, which you might be if you're getting paid by the time and all that stuff, and you got it worth your while. But you're losing the time to be local and close to home, close to the shop to make those sales because it never failed. I go out to this job and somebody would locally call. And then what always got me is that's why I had to start getting employees and stuff because I always called myself the Joker. I don't know why. I think I learned it from our police agency. Our police agency, they had certain cars that circle around, but they called it one the Joker. So if basically somebody got sick or had to use the bathroom or had to take somebody into the police station, the Joker would go in their position to in their area to monitor it, while they're out. And that's what I always felt like. I had to wait. I was always like the Joker sitting there waiting for that phone call. Because when I was just by myself or I was doing it with a business partner, we go out and somebody call local. Well, that's crappy. I don't want to lose that customer. They're like, well, I can't wait, or we got to get this door down. And now I'm 2 hours away. Holy crap, and they're right around the corner from the shop. Never fails. do, 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 do. Leaving in the morning. Son of a biscuit. We'll have Papa Tony back in our life. He'll be great. Is it melting in Michigan? It is. It is. This weekend's gonna be kind of cold. I think we're only like a high of 26 Fahrenheit. And then I think we hit like Monday, Tuesday gets another warm spell. So it's been nice. We've actually melted off a lot. The roads are all dry. The driveways are dry. Sidewalks are good. Everything's good. And we still have a few inches on, you can start seeing some spots in the grass, on the ditches and stuff where the sun hits. Um, so, so that's good, man. We're moving in the right direction. We needed to melt some of the snow off. It was just too much. Mm. What do you got, Rusty? He says, Davies, I met with an advertising company today. My Clopay sales rep uses them. He says, I'm trying to take over on Google, and that involves changing my website and other things. About 5,000. Man, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's $5,000 a month. My brother-in-law has the same thing. It's like they all kind of come across the same theory, which is weird to me. I think he's 4 or 4,500 a month, and you're saying like everybody seems like it's the same. It's right around the $4,000 to $5,000, and I don't know if they just kind of make this up or that's what you got to pay Google to try to get up in there. It just blows my mind, that it takes, um, that much to get. I always think of Google as kind of like a baseball game where the seats, you pay the big money to be right up down in the front, or you get the nosebleeds, and those are cheaper, right? Google feels like it's kind of getting that way. Um, Google's always it's kind of like taxes. You never 100% know how it works. You kind of have an idea, but you don't know all the nitty gritty details. There's no, and I just wish they'd kind of like come out and say, either you can pay to be up front or you pay this. And I'd be like, okay. Or but it's like they got organic, they got this. They don't give you a scale to say, if you have a location that brings you up, if you. Do, 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 do. Oh, it's Tony Guy. He says, Dave, this is what did you think of my video trap? I didn't see it. I know you're talking about it. Hopefully got some dinner out of it. I didn't see it. Like I said, I don't get no notifications right now. I get nothing. All I will see potentially is a text message on my phone. And like I said, I kind of been liking it. It's been kind of quiet. I kind of like it. I mean, I don't miss I'm missing Papa Tony and stuff like that, and I'm missing Messenger. I'm missing Messenger. I'm missing stuff on there. Emails. I've been horrible. Rusty knows that. I told him about that. I got your number too, Rusty. I'll send you. I think you got mine. If not, I'll shoot you just a hello, so you got mine. But yeah, I was kind of like I jump into my email and I was like, whoa. It's like, hello. It's like I gotta, sit here and go through a few things. And so I kind of like it because it's been letting me kind of focus more on some stuff. But I also kind of miss it. But I'm worried if I change it, it's gonna blow up because my stuff's got, I get the Glenn Beck and I get the, I just get all, I mean, I think they do it to keep you entrapped. You know what I mean? Like you'll see stuff. Like I can't ever go on my phone and like research something without being like, there's like 20 messages and it's like, oh, what's this one? They they took, what is this? Zelensky and Trump meet today. What's this? Oh man, he gave him a spanking. Oh, do 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 do. Tony says Dave's a fireman. He puts out fires. There you go. I like that, Rich B. That's why I always tell you in the business, right? I'm always like we're tow truck drivers and we're firemen, right? That's how I always feel. We're the tow truck driver. It's just like if you were on the side of the road, right, with your girlfriend, your wife, your family, and you got screaming kids, right? And you call a tow truck company, and they go, "Well, we could probably get there in 2 days." You go, "The hell with that! I ain't waiting no 2 days on the side of the road in a ditch. I'm calling somebody else." And that's why garage doors always feel the same with in that general because you know how fast can you get here? I got a broken spring, or my door's crooked. I need somebody out here now. And, and then we're the firemen, right? Because obviously you show up to the scene, right? And I was just telling my daughter this today, because she asked me, she goes, why did we fill up the car? Because the wife trying to take it for an event for them. And I said, because I said, it's what I always tell you. And I said, I tell a lot of the subscribers and everybody I know, I said, you're always doing preparation. I said, because I said, could you imagine, I was explaining this to her. I said, could you imagine calling the fire department? And they say, oh, we can't get there right now. We don't have band-aids. All our hoses have cuts in them and they're all cut off and they don't work. I said, could you imagine that? I said, you'd be devastated. I said, that's why. But I said, here's the thing. I said, you're in town. So we're going to fill up the car. I said, that way, supposedly Mama Bear, I said, can make it down there and back. I said, on one tank of gas. I said, so if we have any problems right now, I said, this car is full. So I said, that's taken care of. I said, we did everything in preparation. I said, to make sure the car is ready to go. We checked all the fluids. We checked tires, the spare. I said, the car is in perfect working condition. We've done everything. Now, could you still get a flat tire? Absolutely. But does their spare have air in it? It does. Does it work? Is it functioning? Yes. All this stuff takes preparation. So it's just like we're firemen. We show up to the job site. If we show up there and we go, oh, we don't have winding bars. Well, what good are we? Oh, we don't have lube. Well, what good are we? What if we don't have cables? What if we don't have cable clamps, or not cable, but spring clamps? Or what if we don't have our work orders? Or what if we go out there to do the service call and we realize we got a dead battery? Or what if the car doesn't start and hasn't ran in 3 days? You got to be a fireman. You know what I mean? You got to be ready. You got to get there. You got to have the stuff to do the job. For the most part. I mean, not always, but you know. Dun, 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 dun. I see Evan or elevators are amazing. He's bowing out. He says, hope to see you on the next live stream soon. Absolutely. Right here says I jumped it. Hope I'm gonna have to gotta go. This has got to get ready for bed soon. By the bedtime, you see this. He says, man, I'll be off the stream. You have a great night. Thanks for being here. Good night. See you, sir. And to everyone in the chat. Exactly. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you very much. Evan's guy says, mom helps answer the phone if I'm at work. Ooh, I like this. I just set up my phone to forward calls to her. Absolutely. That's a great idea. Man, I'm so proud of you, Evan, man. You're doing great, man. That's awesome. That's what I used to do. I just asked the wife about that the other day. I haven't done it in a long time. But that's a great idea. I used to do the same thing. I used to have it, it'd go to me, it'd go to my business partner. I think I had can't remember if I had it circle back to me or something. There's so many different ways. There was a lot of stuff I used to do even with was it Google? I think it's Google Voice. Google Voice can give you certain options to do things like that, to give you where you can kind of manipulate or have stuff call. You got to play around with it. It takes time. But that's the way to do it, you know. And you never know. Maybe a mom one day is answering the phone for the business. I mean, our biggest lift master vendor in Michigan, he had his mom there for many years. Sweet lady. You know, and obviously sell stuff out the door, but I know she used to answer for her husband, and he used to do a lot of service. So you just never know. But that's the great way. If you can get somebody, that's the big thing, man. I used to get people all the time that'd be like, I even remember my competition, right, that I'm friends with. Right. I seen him at I was sitting down with a buddy. We're sitting there eating lunch, and obviously I'm not using his real name. His nickname Skip. We call him Skip. And he showed up, and my buddy's like, oh, he's like, there's, you know, and I said, oh yeah, yeah, I know him. And so then he comes over and he's like, we're just talking business stuff, you know. He's like, how's it going, man? Oh, he goes, man, I'm so busy. He goes, I just turned my phone off. He goes, and I'm just sitting there going, I'm eating my French fries, you know. That's why we get a lot of your business, because you don't answer the phone, you know. And then it's funny because obviously when we got really busy, we're sending the work to him, and he's cornering me in the Home Depot, going, "What the hell's going on, man? You go out of business?" And it's like, no, we just can't. You know, he goes, "I'm gonna have to hire two more guys." Du-du-du-du. But nope, that phone is so important. If you're serious, you gotta watch that phone. And like I said, if it was me, even if I was probably Evan, to slow them down, even if it, depending how it goes, if you even have it circle back, if it even can forward it to you or goes to you, goes to mom can't answer it. And if it doesn't catch mom's voicemail or something, and you have it circle back, or if mom's okay with, you know, well, how would I do that? My thing is, I think it's a big help. I seen when my banker lady, when I was calling her that one time, and I heard on her voicemail that obviously every day she would change her voicemail, and it made me feel so much more reassured. That's just not a generic garbage voicemail. Hi, you've reached whoever, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Beep. And you're like sitting there in your brain going, yeah, this mofo ain't gonna call me, you know, or they do something weird. But if you give them direction, people are sheep in a sense. A lot of people are sheep, and they need to be told what to do. What's the next step? What do I do? I'm scared. I never even called this place. I don't know who I'm talking to. Um, but if you can tell them right there, say, hi, you've reached whoever, in a cheerful, you know, and come up with a skit. I mean, I used to practice it. I would do it probably 3 to 6 times in the morning, early in the morning at the shop, because I couldn't have nobody there. I couldn't have the distraction. I couldn't have somebody watching me while I'm sitting there. And I'm like, hi, you've reached a portable door gate, you know, oh, screwed that one up, delete, and do it again. I would literally go outside and do it, so I didn't have to be around my family or have to deal with a kid or noise. Go in a car, drive somewhere, or do it in the morning as you're going to work or something. You change it. I think it's really beneficial, because at least you know you exhausted. That's how I always was. I wanted to exhaust every option I gave this customer to leave a voicemail with me, contact me, talk to me, what's going on. Or, and like I said, I got really good luck too when I would tell them, say, you can also text me if you'd like a faster response. You know, because some people just in their mind don't know. Because I'm really surprised Google. I know they got Messenger, but I'm really surprised they don't have like a text button on there now just to automatically hook you up with something like that, because it's kind of, I don't know, it seems kind of outdated to me. Night elevator are amazing. What's up? The carpenter's house. What's going on, man? I worked on two bids all day today. Got three calls yesterday, and I'm still sitting at the house. It's up to me to follow up. Always follow up. Yes, follow up's good. That's true. And what I like to do, this is kind of my sneaky, like, I always like to follow up because I'm always kind of my mind. This is just how I think. I always kind of go, you wasted my time. Now I'm going to waste yours. You know what I mean? Because now I'm kind of curious. Because now I'm like, now I want information, right? I want data. So I'm always like, if I call them, they're like, no, we ended up using, we found somebody else, right? That they always try to be sweet. And I go, okay, but why did you use them? Did my breath stink? Were my boots not nice enough? Was my vehicle like, I want something from you. I want something. Tell me what could I've done better so I know for the next one. Well, your prices, you were $600 on another guy. $600. Well, okay, not a problem. It's all good. And then you go back, look at your numbers, you can scratch your head like I used to, right? I never understood that my vendors, right? There's a whole slew of vendors out there, and some will give you better pricing, some will give you higher pricing, some will give you lower pricing. So you got to do your shopping around. You know what I mean? You got to, uh, because sometimes that can be, like I said, when I was starting out and I kept going to these jobs and they're like, you're like 200 or 300. I'm like, how can that be? All I got is a pickup truck in my detached garage. Like, I know these other companies, they got like 7, 12 trucks. They got a building, an office. How can I be that much higher? Like, and then the numbers they're telling me, I'm sitting there going like, I wouldn't even make no money. Like, I'd just be at like cost, like, how's this happening? Then when I called another vendor one time and I'm like, holy crap, for a 16x7 door, they're like $300 cheaper. I'm like, this place is ripping me off. Jeff Siri says, am I live? You're live, man. You're here. Welcome. Google's like Ticketmaster with a progressive pricing. There you go. That's kind of I like it. I like it. Says yes, Jeff. He says, sorry, I was a guy from Carpenter's house above. He says I switched accounts. Oh, well, there you go. Your own, man. Rich, Rusty's guy. Rich, when I give prices, I always give them three. He says low, mid, high. It's called price accordingly. Or was this, is it, Anacree? I don't know. Rusty, you retire in this year? Is that what Tony's got? Or Rusty retire in this year? What's he got? What's he got? Dave, do you still go out and give estimates? Um, no, not really. Um, it's kind of lonely on my end. They don't really call me. I'll still get one through the grapevine that comes through a back door or something like that. But nope, I don't do the estimates anymore. Um, I don't see it too often. I know I've heard of a few, like one was through like Menards. The guy wanted to buy or something. And so we've really cracked down again on pictures and doing our due diligence. I haven't looked at this week to see what they, because what I'll kind of do is I go in there and I'll spot check and then see, like, because the thing I'm always trying to portray or show them in a sense is that you need an outsider, right? Like when I come in, I need to look at a job. I want to see pictures of whoever was there. I need to know who and what's going on. So I jump in and do that kind of stuff and see. But that's why a lot of times with you guys, like when you're like with numbers, I mean, I see them glance across the desk once in a while here and there, but I don't know what the numbers are. The numbers to me just are numbers. They all change. And until I need them for certain things, like I know we're getting, what did I send? We're getting like a 10% price increase on our fence vendor. And they think there's going to be possibly more with the tariffs. So I'm sure we're going to see it. Normally when it's one steel manufacturer, it could be, it doesn't matter if it's fencing, it's going to be in the garage doors too. And you know how it is, everything goes up, but nothing comes down. If it does, it comes down a few pennies versus it went up a few dollars. So, Tony, Rusty is just getting started. That's right, Rusty. I was a maniac, he says this week. Oh, Jeff says he says dead battery happened to me. Oh man, 2 days ago. Oh, it's on a vehicle. Okay. And I was on an emergency call. Oh man, what happened? Battery was dead on the truck. He says I pulled out what is it? Deeds? What is that? It says My audio says it's a lifesaver. Adu? What is Adu? Is that like a battery pack? I've been looking for. I got to watch some guys. What's that one guy? That farm tech guy. He always does a lot of testing on products. I got to find me a good jump back because the wife of Tron's, when her battery was having issues, I was like, this could have been a problem. Like you not being home. Let's just say, you know, where I had issues, and I just had a few other things. I forget what it was, and I thought, man, I need to find me kind of a good jump pack. If they really work, the little small ones. All right, Tony, scrub it good, man. You got to get back to work, man. Got to make sure all the joints are clean. Enjoy the shower. Oh, nothing like a shower. Clears the mind. Rusty. My mom is the one who answers our phone and does all the office work since 1989. Oh man, God bless mom. That's so awesome. It's always nice, when you got mom, she's gonna do the best she can. She always gonna take care of the customer. They always do a good job. They're so sweet and innocent. They're just wonderful. I always loved going to my vendor when I was picking up supplies, and I think what was it, Lorraine? I think it was Lorraine. She was such a sweet lady. You could just tell she had that. She just been doing it for so many years, and she knew the stuff too, and it was great, And she'd sit there and go through her little catalog, and they had everything all priced out. They priced their stuff, and everything. And she'd be like, "You're looking for what again?" And she knew what page to go to, and it was their own book they made, own um, 3-ring binders, and she was good, man. Just says administration. He says assistant has an iPhone like me, so all my calls I forward immediately her to her. He says call, text, everything. It's awesome. And then the emails that we get through our website is forward. I forward all. Huh, that's interesting. So I didn't realize you could do that. I wonder how you can switch that in your settings. Hmm. That'd be pretty cool. Like Jeff, if you could ever send me some more information on how you do that, or take a little video. Um, Either I can, whatever's easier for you. If you want to email, you want to text. I'd be interested to see how you kind of do that, because I haven't done that in a long time, and I always used to be a Samsung, and now I'm iPhone. And like I said, I don't even know what I just did to my phone, because I did it on over a weekend. Um, I had to put it into a don't disturb, do not disturb. And I'm used to using the switch. My phone's always on silent. Um, but I normally check it often enough, most of the time, not always. I might get an hour or two that I don't check it, but most of the time, I'll check it in 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. I always scroll through, or I'm listening to music sometimes or something. But I my wife had to walk me through the do not disturb, and where I could only make it so she and my daughter could call me, because we had a little one that was at a friend's, and I was worried. Little kids sometimes, they have meltdowns and they want to come home, and so I didn't want her to be abandoned. And sometimes when I go to sleep, I'm asleep, so I needed to have where the phone I could hear it ring. If it was like 3 different people, it was either my older daughter, my the wife of Tron, or that particular friend's mom that she was at. And so ever since I did that, I think that's my phone. I don't know if I messed something up. I turned it back off, but like I said, I haven't got any notifications anymore, so I don't know. And I try not to monkey with it too much. Kids are great with messing up phones too, by the way. You give them, they'll watch like YouTube Kids or something, and you'll get back your phone, and it'll be like a totally different phone. You won't even recognize it. It'll have different pictures. Everything will be scrambled. They put in some kind of passcode that already set off explosions in different countries, and you're just like, I have no clue how did you even do this? And they're like, I didn't touch nothing. uh, Rusty does all. Text everything. I heard schedule 65% of my jobs. Nice. Rusty's got Jeff. He says, how many employees do you have? Rusty, just me nowadays. Can't find no help. The help is hard. Rusty says, I feel you, Jeff. He says, it's my brother and I. Hey, you can always trust on that, Don't have to worry about a lot of stuff doing the Houdini, not showing up, all that good stuff, right? It's tough. It takes time. It takes time to filter out. Jeff says, I learned about the is it Adu? He says in Minnesota they work. Jeff, excuse me, Jeff. He says when I get a voicemail on my phone for a bid, I forward the recording. It's an option. Oh, okay. I mean, I've done that. I've done that. I thought you're more like talking like all the phone calls because I think there is a way that you can basically switch your phone so it'll like everything will be like filtered through. I don't know. Like it'll call you first or it'll go to the second person. I assume iPhones have more options. I used to do it with Samsung. I forget how I did it. You had to, back in the day, it used to even be like through Sprint where you had to like push like certain numbers. Like you had to do like star pound star or something, type in a number, and then that would also like forward your phone number to another phone number to possibly receive it. Um, Mm, 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 mm. Doo-doo. But it never failed. It never failed. If I'm on the, I never liked my phone ringing in front of a customer. I always felt like that was really rude. So, and I've had customers before, you can take that. And I'm like, no, like I'm here. I'm with you. And I appreciate your business. And I'm not going to get on my phone now and be like the guy that's walking around and be like on my truck, be like, ah, all right, well, let me know what you figure out. And then go back to the customer and be like total brain dead where I'm like, what were we talking about? Well, we were talking about what color we're gonna make my door, and what color was that? Oh, brown. That's right. Okay, yeah. So but those phone calls, they never fail. They'll come in, and I've had it before. It's like you look at it, and like, oh god, dude, it looks like a brand new customer. That's that one I've already been. You know. But if you can at least get somebody to answer, right, and even if they don't know, and they say, I'll have them call you back, they feel comforted. They feel okay with that. Do 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 do. Do-do-do-do. This is when I get voicemails. Evans guy, he says my phone's always on vibrate. Uh he says screaming along to metal music in my car and the breakdown gets interrupted by ding. Dun-dun-dun. I don't know how good they'd work. I know when I seen Josh, he was walking around quite a bit. He didn't seem like he was having too many problems. He's walking around a lot with his earbud in, one of the Apple, and I don't know how good they do. I don't know if they filter out that good. Um, the noise and stuff like that. But man, nowadays, you probably even got a little better. I used to have what was it called? The Blue Parrot, I think it was. It had a little bit of an extension and I'd put in my ear. That always worked pretty good for when I had to answer the phone, if I'm driving or something like that. I always really like to have it too for tech support. That was always great. So you could have two hands while you're working on an operator or something. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. What does it say? Evans got here. So I feel like the mentality of go to college or you're a failure is dead nowadays. Or is that just me? No, I think you're totally. I was actually just talking to, um, I was just talking to the wife of Tron today about it because, obviously when I was growing up, same thing, you graduate, whatever. Everybody's always, what are you going to, where are you going to go? Where do you go? And it's like, my problem always was even today, jokingly, right? Even today, right? I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. You know what I mean? And for me, the only thing I've ever wanted out of life was freedom. Not to be taxed to death, not to be worked to death, just freedom. The willingness to be able to enjoy things, you know what I mean? To actually breathe, you know. Um, and a lot of this stuff is there is so much stuff out there. It's not even funny. It's so much brainwash out there. And that's why, like, for some of you young guys, right? Like I tell Caleb that I say, it really is in a sense how meaningful, it means, cash is simple, keep it small, keep it all. Um, Try to stay out of that vortex. You know what I mean? There is good debt and then there is bad debt. And you are, we all are slaves. We all are. We just have invisible handcuffs. You know what I mean? But every one of you, including myself, right? Come next week, you're gonna get up and go to work. Why? Because you have bills to pay. You want things, right? And why do you want all these things, right? To impress people that you don't like? Maybe. Maybe you got a family to feed, all these other things. Um, it's one hell of a system. I'd love to know how it all originally really got invented. Um, it's enslavement. And so people just, you know, um, I was a firsthand, my ex, I was telling her about it today. My wife trying. I said, I remember how, like keep going to college, you don't have to pay. Oh, okay. Well, by the time you're done, you're gonna make so much money. There's no guarantee. That's the worst part. You go to do this, there's no guarantee. Now, granted, you need it if you're gonna go do certain things, but there is so many people I know that have gone that do not do what they were going to do. And we were talking about somebody in one of the kids, they got a full ride scholarship. And I was telling them, I said, you know, it's kind of sad because they're going pretty far away. And I see this happen very often. And it's a girl. And I don't discount it. I don't discount it. It's great. I'm glad. I hope it works out. I really do. But I don't see it that often that it does. They go out, right? And then they're there, they start missing the family, and then they come back, right? But even though they got a full ride, right? Well, they pay for gas, they pay for insurance on the car. Well, no, they don't pay for that stuff. They pay for food. No. So normally got to get a part-time job. So they're doing all this schooling, then they work. Now you got to be driven, man. You got to be driven if you're gonna do that kind of stuff. And you got to be on a mission, right? You got to be on a mission. You got to be laser focused. And that's great. If you want to do those certain things, you need it, right? We need the attorneys and the doctors and that. Like, I don't want somebody that's a garage door technician working on cutting my brain open. That's for sure. But you got to be laser focused and you have to sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice. What are you going to sacrifice? You know what I mean? You're going to sacrifice all that time, and then, you're going to go to work, right? As a female, right? Because that's what society trains, right? Um, we're not in the 1950s where the women stay home and they cook and clean and you can live off one income. Hell no, you need basically two incomes nowadays, just to eat, right? Because everything's just gotten so expensive. And I think something resonated with me the other day. When I heard something, they said, it was talking about cars or something, and they said, it's doubled, it's doubled in price, but has your wages doubled? And I went, hell no. I said, my wages haven't even doubled. And so I said, man, it's, when you think about it, how much stuff, and then everything you get roped into comes with a cost, right? And then when you think about it, there's taxes. Um, that's the problem. When you look at it, the tax is what burns me. You know what I mean? And it's not everything, but it's, every time you bring that subscription and you bring that phone in, you bring that TV, that subscription, you bring the Netflix, you bring the car payments, you bring the insurance, you bring this, you bring the boat, you bring the house. It's entrapment. It's enslavement. You know what I mean? You become, it's house broke in a sense. It's easy, and then you're trapped. Who are you making? It's funny when you look at your payoff for a house, right? When you ever look at the payoff, it's like you paid like double when it's paid off. You pay for the 30 year. Man, it sounds really windy out. Do 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 do. But no, I don't think you're wrong with the college. Like I said, I think it's for some. I think it was pushed. I think it was government funded. That's why college got so damn expensive. It's ridiculous. Just like housing. They shouldn't be in the housing. That's why houses are overinflated. You know, I'm a very free market. I like free market. That'll correct itself. But when you bring in, it's just like when my ex was going, it's like, oh, you can get student loans. You know what I mean? You can afford it. It's only $20 a month. And you're like, yeah, I can afford that. And how much you going to give me? We'll give you 20,000, you know? And the worst part, which a lot of people don't know, but I know it very well, like you cannot bankrupt on student loan. That's horrible. Mm, I think I'm going to have a good year. He says I have averaged this week at least 2 calls per day for estimates. Maybe it's because we have new administration in there. Could be. It could be what we've talked about right now. It could be because tax refunds are coming in and people are feeling a little bit of money. It's hard to say. I don't know which way it's going to go. I hope it goes good. I'm a little bit nervous with Trump doing so many layoffs that's going to be in the news. They're going to hit that hard. Um, I'm not saying I'm against it, but I just know that, what was that? I heard some statistics or something that was saying like last year, like 75% of the workforce that was created or people that were hired was under the government. Ooh. So if they're, getting rid of them, there are a lot of people out there that don't have jobs, don't have money, and maybe that's kind of the plan, right? They're going to have to get different jobs, and I'm not sure how it's going to quite shake out. I definitely know he's stirring the pot. I can see that just plain as day, and I'm not saying it's bad. Um, but I don't know if anybody feels like it, but to me, it's almost like I keep looking at it. I'm always that, you got your hand over here, look here, but something's going on over here. And I just sit there and I just keep going, golly, this almost seems like kind of like too good to be true. Like this is like Hollywood. Um, how can this be? Like, I can't even believe they're bringing this to the light. Do, do, do. Jeff, how long have you been in business? Oh, that's a good question. Since 2005 with my door business. What was your revenue last year? How much are you spending on advertising? Rusty, last year it was next to nothing, so I had to start all over. I almost closed up shop. Oh, dang. It's been kind of slow. It's been up and down. Some areas, like I said, it all depends, locations. And like I said, like when I went and hanged out with Josh, their demographic, is way different than Michigan's. You know what I mean? Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. The only thing I wanted to do was garage doors. Took a long time to finally get here. Yeah, it takes it. I kind of want to add to that. So like for Evan, and that's why I kind of put it out to everybody in a sense, right? And I think, um, I think I can kind of speak to this because I've done it for over 18 years. And I kind of like to look at some stuff, right? And this is I'm gonna blow this up. I'm gonna bash this really bad. So don't take this as negativity. You know what I mean? This is just food for thought, right? But I've been in it for, the 18 plus years. And it's funny how sometimes you can look at vehicles, right? Like maybe some of you drive a SUV or drive a truck, damn well that vehicle can't go 300 miles an hour. You know what I mean? It would take a NASCAR or a Formula One car to start hitting those speeds, right? And I look at some of the stuff that we do and I go, there's limitations, you know what I mean? And so sometimes I wonder, I go, man, you can put a lot of work into something. Like for me, for instance, I really wish when I would have younger years, I wish I would have started out as a realtor. I wish I really would have started out with learning the verbiage and stuff like that. And there's more money, there's bigger numbers, right? Because I look at my one realtor that I've used, and it's like she walks around with a piece of paper and then she'll come in and she'll say stuff, well, if you put a little paint in the wall or do this, probably get more money, and it's like, yeah, you're getting commission off this. And it's not to say that they don't have a hard that, because I know some of the stuff they go through too. But I think about some of the stuff that we go through and how many jobs I've gone to, and it's you can dice it however, you got to do free estimates. Okay, so you drive around and spend all your gas and you got to do this, you got to follow up. You didn't do, there's so many things you can molest this, but it can only produce so much. You know what I mean? So that's just stuff you got to keep in the back of your head. And it's not that it's not fun or it's exciting or it's good. There is good in it. You know what I mean? You can see a lot of stuff. It's very short term. It's a service that's needed. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't see AI taking it out anytime soon. Um, so there's a lot of positive stuff too. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's just um, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with it. So, it's just sometimes starting, I wish I would have took the money and invested more is what I really wish. Dividend stocks, real estate. I wish I would have known what I know now to um, sometimes not burn up so much in other things like advertising. You can blow a lot of money in advertising, and you're always rolling the dice with advertising. And some people, well, that's just part of it, okay, well, but it's still X amount of dollars that's gone. You know what I mean? Where it's like, there's a guarantee. Um, how do I explain it? Like with the rentals, like I never have to sell it. Never, never. Like I have a list of people that want to live somewhere. It just doesn't like go away. It just doesn't go away. I don't have to sell. I don't have to advertise. I don't have to be on the market. I don't have to put myself out there. I don't have to worry about bad reviews. Um, it's just so different. It's so different being on the other side. And then you're the guy hiring the contractors versus I need to find a video out there or something because it's like so different. Like when you're a contractor, it's like you're chasing, right? You're always chasing. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it fast. I'll do it really fast. I'll do it really cheap. I'll do it cheap. I'll do it cheap. I can do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Like you're always, you know what I mean? And, you got to answer the phone. There's so many different things to it. But when you're on the property side, it's like you're the one calling around, you're filtering, and you have the asset. It's like you're not chasing. You know what I mean? You're just trying to figure out a problem. Like I've never had a tenant yet that tells me it's like my hot water went out. You know what I mean? And if you don't get here in 2 hours, I'm packing up my stuff and I'm leaving. And I'm like, oh, all right, go for it. Have fun at that. And it's like, okay, let me see what I can do to resolve that. Right. And then it's funny how when you call, because you do the same thing, you call other ones and they'll be like, well, I can't get to you. And you're like, all right, well, I'll call somebody else. You know what I mean? And you find somebody, and I've had pumps and stuff. I had guys that have traveled, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they fixed the problems. And I'm always like kind of sitting there like, sometimes I always want to be like, hey man, are you like me? Like you're just desperate and want the work and you need the work, or are you just like willing to travel? Like, why would you travel 2 hours to come here? You know what I mean? Like I called everybody in town and you're only charging me this. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say nothing, right? I'm gonna say, dude, I'd easily throw out another $300. You know what I mean? So it's always like there's always like room on the table. That's always kind of weird. Like I don't know when I've done it. I've always like it's like that gamble in your head. You're like, I wonder how much the other guy charged. Crap, I could have gotten another $300 out of him. You know what I mean? I'm just rambling. Sorry. I'll shut up. Ah. Mhm. Jeff says, keep it small. You like that? Keep it small. Keep it all. I think I got to sneeze. If I sneeze, I go off for a second. I'm sorry. Excuse me. The only thing, keep it small, keep it all. The key to that is don't be the Jones. Don't be the Jones. Man, isn't that the truth? I'm telling you. That's why, at least for me, like I said, when I hit the 40, it's amazing to me where I just go, I don't really give a crap what people think. Like, when you really you really need to think about this, right? When you quit worrying about what other people think about you, or like, I like that saying, what is the saying? You know, you're trying to impress people that you don't even like, you know what I mean? And there's a lot that goes into that. And sometimes you gotta eliminate those people sometimes. You just do. It's sad. It's not easy. Um, but that's just sometimes what you gotta do, quit and trying to keep up with the Jones. Enjoy life. Enjoy what you want. You know what I mean? What you and your spouse or your girlfriend or wife, what do you guys enjoy? Enjoy the time. Because when you start hitting those certain ages, man, you realize how precious time is. Do do. Rusty Evans says, so I'm sure Rusty could do brain surgery. He's a smart dude. Uh, Jeff Sky says 2024. I went to work for a Fortune 500 company as a lead tech. Only lasted 4 hours on the job, and I was ran off. But I just went back to the old Jeff. Dun, 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 dun. Jeff, are you listed on Google? Oh, that's a good question. Rusty, yes, I have a Google My Business. The one thing I didn't shut down. He says when I tried to go to work for the other guy, it's tough. I mean, when I started mine, we went through that 2007 crash, so we had to go back to work, back to our old jobs, and whew, man, that was tough. I remember I went back into the factory. Oh, it was like I got there. It was like within like the first half an hour. I was like, "Yep." I was like, "I know why I left this place. It's freaking miserable." And I did everything. I think when you sometimes you hit that desperate, and that's why I'm always trying to tell certain people or the young guys starting out. It's like we went really fast. I mean, we grew really fast, got a lot of customers, but we didn't have the right we just didn't have things in the right positions to take care of these customers. And then we had a customer that burned us of $10,000. And of course, back in 2007, that was a lot more money. And when you're a small business starting out, $10,000 just crushes you. And so, I mean, I was doing everything I could. I was finding every little piece of technology that helped make me faster and quicker, for earpiece and people could hear me, or if they complained, well, you're breaking up a little bit, I can't hear you, to recording. That was a big one. I'd have it so my phone was recording their conversation so I could go back, because I'm not very good with like writing down like the name and then their last name, and then or have them spell out the address or something. Or the phone breaks up, especially when you're using cell phones. That happens a lot, or internet based phones. It'll break up for a second. They'll be like, you're like, what was that? Can you spell it out for me? Jup, Jupiter. Oh, okay. Not a problem. Got it. No. Jeff says the no compete cause now illegal. Oklahoma nationwide, so that's a good thing. Slow and steady always wins the race. Yes, it does. It does, man. That's why you just do what you can afford. Just remember, everything you get into, right? Everything you sign on to, you got to remember that's enslavement. You get a car, you get a boat, you get a camper, and if you got debt on it, right? I mean, now you got it. And I've been there. I've been there. I've had the wave runners and I've had the truck with the camper and stuff, like I said. And now you're trapped. You're handcuffed. You know what I mean? I can't leave my job. If I leave my job, I got to go somewhere else that's going to pay me more, because I can't take a paycheck, and that sucks. That sucks. Absolutely sucks. Especially for a young man. I Men don't understand the responsibilities in life. I sure as hell didn't when I was young. You know what I mean? And now looking at it, I go, holy crap. We have to carry the world on our soldiers, our girlfriends, our wives, our kids, our moms and dads depend on us. It's a lot. It's a lot. And when you're carrying your own baggage, the debt, the burden, the cars, the breaking down, the windows that got to get replaced, the yard that's got to get cut, all these things, it adds up. It adds up. It's a lot. And if it's not making you money, that's why I'm always like, man, if I would have known, I would have been into when I was a young man, I would have either just found a piece of property with like a trailer, or not like around here, we can't typically do it, but I would have found a pole barn. If possible, just find a pole barn. I could live in a damn trailer. I live in the damn trailer, and be in a pole barn. In that pole barn, I'd be using that son of a biscuit to find somewhere that's got cheap taxes, that's not too far on the outskirts or too far away from the surrounding area of money. Find some good demographics, of towns that's got a lot of people. You could sell. You could sell firewood to them if it's a good demographic of people that don't have, a lot of not many trees. You can, if your property, you could always cut your own. You could use the building for maybe working on cars, work on your own stuff, especially when you got the weather. If you got winter weather, that stuff sucks. Especially in the business of doing like it sucks that you got to clean out a van out in the snow and the cold. It sucks you got to load up a vehicle in the snow and the cold. It's not fun. You know what I mean? And over the years, I've just taller is better. Like I look at it now and it's like if I have the option, probably minimum 12-foot door to if I can get 14, great. Might as well even do 16. Why the hell not? You know what I mean? But 14 is pretty reasonable. I'd like that. But you can put a lift in there. You can work on your own vehicles, which if you're a man, you can save money. You can work on other people's vehicles. You have so many options, right? That garage is how you make that's garage you use to build your dream house if you want down the road on that property or whatever. But you need shelter, especially if you live in the northerly climates, as a man. But that's why I've been trying to tell, like, even Mr. Caleb, I'm like, he's still with parents. And I'm like, dude, if things are working out, just stay there. Just stay there. Keep your room clean, do some dishes, take care of your laundry, pitch in. You got to pay a little rent. They get you for a couple $100 or whatever. It's still so much cheaper. You don't even have no clue. I ran out, man. I was like the first one. You know what I mean? Boom, I was out. Right. And like I said, I still remember this day. I remember I was laying in bed one day and I just started breaking down crying. And I was like, oh my God. I said, now I have to pay an electric bill. Now I understand. I have to, like my parents, you have to pay these bills until the day you die. And even when you die, you still have to pay taxes, death tax. You know what I mean? So I'm laying there, I'm sitting up in bed, but I'm like sitting there literally thinking like, I got a water bill now. I got a gas bill. And I mean, you know how it is. Like when you're first starting out, you're like trying to save. Like my bills used to be like all under $100 back then. Now everything is like $200 to $500. But I remember how like frugal I was, and it was like I need exactly $1,200 to operate this place. And then you'd pinch the money. I did envelopes, and mine was always envelopes, and I have a little bit of money, barely. And obviously to go have fun, it was always like that's for gas or maybe for a trip or something, but that stuff entraps you, you know what I mean? And then like I didn't know when the water line would break, that the meter's out by the road, that I got to pay for the water line and I got to pay for the water bill. HOAs, I didn't know anything about HOAs. Oh, you want to put something in your yard? You need a permit. Do you got good neighbors or do you got bad neighbors? Neighbors can make or break you, man. They can make your life a living hell. So that's why sometimes I just be out in the woods. Nobody can see. Hey, you know what? If you're out in the woods and you want to put a roof on that place and you really don't got too many neighbors around, nobody can see you from the road. Wink, wink. You know, go ahead, put that roof on. Do it. You should do something to protect your house. You know what I mean? Take care of your family instead of having somebody drive by now and going, "What are they doing? I don't see something in the window. I'm calling the police." And the township comes out and you need a permit for this. We're shutting you down. So many things. Culvers. I've had culvert problems. You got deep ditches. Deep ditches are not good. I never knew. I had one piece of property that the culverts failed, and I had to have them replaced. And I said, "Well, I told the township people. I said, well, how does this work?" I said, this. I'm making an improvement. I said, I see the culverts failing. I said, because I had a tree company already fall through in the spot, and I said, what if I decide I'm not paying 10? Because it's like $10,000. $10,000. You got $10,000? $10,000 to replace this per culvert. I had two of them. And of course, then I found out because I wanted to do a whole span. I said, I want to do a whole span across this property. I said, I want the whole thing so you can drive, oh, well, you can only add 12 foot on every 6 years or something. Well, I ain't replacing it in 6 years, whatever it is. You can only do that. That's government, that's state law, bull crap, whatever, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, I might as well add on another 12 foot, but it won't be in my lifetime that ever gets expanded anymore. And I'm not going through township regulations and state regulations and all this crap. Right. But they told me, they said, basically, if it fails and you don't pay for it, you don't have a driveway. I said, oh, well, I guess I can't really, not have a driveway to get in my property. So I had to pay for the culvert, all these things you just don't know about. Sorry, I went off. Illegal, no complaints. Says slow, steady, always wins. 24 hours, and you have Lost, he says, 50% chance to win a bid, 24 hours. Oh, yes, win a bid. I'd say at 48 hours out of the game, they shop around. Oh yeah, shoot, it could be sooner. Like I said, you got to be on top of it. They want communication. Most of the time, I found out with customers, it's communication. If you can just answer the phone and say, "Let me get back to you in 5 or 10 minutes," just communication goes so far with customers. Jeff, he says, I agree. Time kills to win the bid. I gave bids when I'm there within 15 minutes. Clopay has an awesome app. I can figure out any price on your phone. Ooh, nice. Nice. Jeff says last door installed was a Clopay that had great service. They had great service. Oh, nice. That's good. That's good. Garage door. Jeff, where do you buy your doors? Evan, keep it small, keep it all. It's not what you make, it's what you save. Ooh. I think they normally say it's not what you make, it's what you keep. That's how I always think of it. But you're dead on with that. Dead on, man. It's that's exactly it. You know what I mean? It really is. Rusty, I get most of my stuff through a local door dealer on residential and LDS and OKC. Jeff says, I don't do many garage doors anymore, but I'm seriously thinking about getting back into it when I get my shop finished. Oh, nice. Yeah, you should. Should, man. It's a good little chunk of money. Jeff says, I think garage door service is more profitable. Rusty says per hour. What could I add to that? Hmm. Yeah, I mean, when I think of commercial is always, I think of myself, is always better than the service is always better than replacing. Because most of our commercial, if you say replace, they go, we got to get three bids. That's what the higher ups make us do. And then sometimes, most time, they have a threshold, right? Um, so that's one thing. And then with residential, gosh, it's kind of in and out. I mean, if you can do a cable and stuff like that, you probably are. Because I think with residential, it always feels like to me you're saving the day, right? Because they typically call with when you get those one-offs, hey, I got a door that's crooked, or my spring, or my, the classic one, my cable's off, and you're like, it's probably a broken spring, but you're the one that come out there and save the day. Because I think a lot of customers, I never really feel this way, but I think a lot of people do. They feel like something was whole in their life and now it's not whole. Something is wrong and they need it fixed. And they want it fixed now. They want that pain to go away. So that's why I've always thought about, like, if you could do, like, if you were just doing garage door springs, and I think you could really do a good, like I'd be okay with even maybe traveling a little bit more. Man, maybe not. Cause you know how it is. You're going to get there. They're going to need a strut. They're going to need a cable, stuff like that. But the garage door springs, boom, 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 man. It's really simple, right? Like I said, I've never had a problem with a garage door spring where somebody, when I was green and I never got the cables quite figured out, maybe have a loose cable pop off or something, but I never had anybody complain about them, or they're making noise, or they're ugly looking, or it's got a scratch on it. But I've had a lot of problems with garage doors. You know what I mean? You put them out of the package and, oh crap, there's a scratch, or there's a dent in it, or all that kind of stuff. Openers probably not so bad, but I don't know. I just don't think. I think it's hard because the box stores, they get where people they see them all the time. So when you come in there and you're trying to charge, oh, we're charging $1,200, $2,400 for a garage door opener, they're like, but I just went to the store and I walked past one for $150. And you're like, but I'm your guy, Da-da-da. Maybe we should think of it as like a lighter, right? Like I always like to use the Bic lighter and a Zippo lighter. A garage door, to them, they might see in their eyes, just like what I see as a lighter. A flame is a flame. I just needed to light my fire. I needed to light my cigarette. I don't need it to look cool for the Joneses. I just need to light and do something. I need to light the cardboard on fire. You know what I mean? It's a flame. A garage door, I just need it to open and close, you know? I just kind of thought about that. Do 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 do. Jeff says, Rusty, you got most of the stuff. Jell's garage doors. Do 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 do. Evan's got, I usually just have the customer text address so I can copy and paste it to the GPS. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. Do, 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 do. Don't get into, what does it say? Grind, love what you do. Only reason I'm still in this is I have passion for it. I love working on doors. Yeah, that's, I think Jeff, you knocked it out of the park right there. I think that's a good, and that's, I can add to that because, um, when I first started out, right, it's easy to get into this like the mindset of oh my gosh, I want to make this just a huge, blah 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 blah. And there can be a lot of blowback, right? And I always remember, like I've said before, the secretary asking me certain questions, like, why do you need that? And I'm like, because I need it. Because it's not, why do you need this? You never needed it before. And it's like, because I never needed it before because I didn't have employees. You know what I mean? Like I need everything in the box. I need side locks. I need foot pegs. I need rope. I need bumpers. If it's commercial, bump stops. I need these things. I need them to be in there. They're minuscule things to me, right? They're pennies on a dollar, and I need them so that way I don't have these, because when you're already dealing with customers and your own commercial customers that are calling you, and now you got employees calling saying, "Hey, man, this customer wants a side lock," and you're like, "I can't believe you're calling me about a side lock. Why don't you have a side lock?" Well, I used two at that last job yesterday. Remember that commercial? Yeah, and I forgot to restock the truck. And you're out installing. All right, let me figure, what I mean? Like where it's like, I'd rather them have the stuff. Like, so what we'd start doing even is like a garage door residential. We were bending with two sticks of angle, right? Load it up with two sticks of angle. I don't care if you go chuck them in the ditch, take them home, build a deer blind out of them. I don't care, right? The customer paid for them. You know what I mean? They're going to get them, or they come back and we use them for something else, but they paid for them, right? The customer paid for everything, paid for the door, paid for the rollers, paid for the hinges, paid for the side lock, paid for the weather stripping. It's part of the package. And whatever happens part of that package when it goes out of the building is what it is. You know what I mean? Comes back, hopefully, yes. But there's just so many layers, so many layers. If you, then are you managing it? Are you there to count it? Do you hire somebody to count it? Yeah, there's just so many layers. Dun, 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 dun. But if you're passionate about it, that's always good. You enjoy it. You can make a living. Absolutely. Dun, finish. Seriously, as I say, I don't think. I'm serious thinking of getting back to Jeff. I think service. I'm missing whatever, Jeff. Love it. Jeff says, when you wrap your arms around your job, embrace it like it's the love of your life. It's just because naturally, by the time you get to be an old geezer, yes, time does fly. Fall in love with commercial work because something's doing something weird here. What does it say? Fall in love with commercial work because that's where it's all, or where it's at. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. I've kind of reverted. Like I like the residential a little bit more now, just for me because it's kind of like if I go into the commercial, sometimes the problem is if I go into commercial, there's a lot of people that know me. So I kind of get sucked back in. And then it's like, hey, what about this job? And I'm like, not me, not me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So like, I like those kind of like, the residential's nice because most, people don't know me. And then I can kind of go in there, do something small to help out. Or I like the bigger jobs that's going to be more, labor, more time. Like I was kind of thinking about it more like, I know it's not stuff that you guys so much particularly like, but I know like for me and probably with Cap, it helps out more or less if I do like the gates and the fencing. I like fencing, honestly. If I got the right equipment, you give me a skidster and my concrete's there. There's something like, it kind of reminds me of being like on a farm. And I ain't gonna lie, I wish I kind of grew up on a farm because I like the farm idea. I know it's a very tough job, but I used to think to myself all the time, "Oh, what the hell's the difference?" They say you basically live on the farm, you can't ever take vacation. Well, when I'm in the business full time, I never could take vacation or leave the farm or the business, anyways. So it was just, hey, at least you might as well be milking some cows or something. So don't bother me. But well, I like the fencing. It's methodic. I don't know. It's just you're doing something. Normally, it's a good price. It's kind of like I always liked when I used to have a roofing business. I liked the roofing business, but I didn't like the stress because you're always freaking out that it's going to rain. You know what I mean? Like you're always like, do we tarp it? We got this on there, but that still ain't good enough, man. We're gonna have hellish winds. It just the stress and then people's belongings. Oh, that was very stressful. That's why then I never did the whole crew, like, you gotta get a bus full of Mexicans or whatever, and then you just knock it out in a day, you know what I mean? That's just the way you gotta do it. Do 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 do. Commercial spring changes and, coupler repairs are my most profitable work. Huh, commercial springs. Mhm. Do-do. I think with like I think about that, like what Rusty just commented, and I don't doubt that. But the only thing I don't like about the commercial ones is that you typically can't do it within the day because you don't have the commercial springs. At least we don't have 3, 2 and 5/8. I mean, we do have some, I guess, but we don't have 6-inch springs, which is a lot of our stuff. Um, so I just the residential is normally, if you got the springs on the truck, boom, it's an easy whatever, 100, 200, $600, and you're in and out, you're done with that customer, they're happy. Commercial always scares me a little bit with the springs, like I said, not discounting Rusty, that's the profitable because it is good money. But it's just sometimes they're irritating, right? Because they're like, well, we really need this door. Like, how fast can you get it? And it's like, yeah, dimwit. Like, if you would have had, like, last time I was here, if you would have carried an extra set, and I'm always kind of weird about that. I guess I get it to some degree, right? Like, I expect when I go to AutoZone, them to have brake pads for my car. Especially if it's not something that's severely old. But for me, it's like there's so many different diameters of 6-inch springs and then different lengths and all that, or if they got whatever, all different kinds of size. It's like we don't carry that, but if you want, we can get you a pair, and then which works out great for a lot of our customers. A lot of them do have them, so when we show up there anyways with a lift to try to fix the door and go, oh, they said the door was broke, but look, there's a broken spring. Well, they got some in the back stock room. Let's just go grab them, and we can do our job while we're there, and that works out really good for them. Du-du-du-du, du-du. Tony's guy there says, "Hit the like button, please." How's the shower? What's for dinner? Dun, 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 dun. Commercial is so interesting to me. He says, I get in so many different situations. Some of them are fine, especially when you go to an animal hospital or some place like that. Stinks to heaven. I think the worst ones I always think about, some of what we've done, is the foundries. Man, the foundries. You'd be up in that corner of that roof, right? Working on spring, and they like pour or open up a casting or something, and you just see the billowing. Looks like a Tanner diesel Chevy truck just puking out the exhaust. And you just see it, and you're like, oh crap, here it comes. And you're up there in like this mist of stuff, and you're like, we'll come back in 15 minutes. We got to go back down, man. It's freaking horrible up here. You know, the foundries were always the worst. Dun, dun. Jeff says, what does Jeff say? So I went to a guy's house just yesterday to give a bid, and he said he looked me up, and then I had, what does it says? Restraining order on me in the past. He's a lawyer. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. It says I told him that was a long time ago. It was a customer, and I think he was a lawyer too. It made me laugh. That's funny though. That's cool. He looked it up. You never know. You never know. He said I can't make shit up. Yeah, it's weird how there's a lot of variables out there, when it comes to that stuff. Like um yeah, business, man. That's why sometimes um yeah, I've had I gotta be kind of vague about it, but I've had multiple employees um almost come to the point of I had a warrant out for my arrest. That's something to think about. And it can be there's unpaid bills of theirs of some sort, and there's you're that's why I always talk about in business, right? There's so many layers. I wish some of you guys could understand if you're new, it's such a different it's such a different level when you have employees. And don't get me wrong, I love my employees. They do great. They do great. But it's all the shit I have gone through to find them and to understand now what to look for is just it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And there's still every once in a while you might get a surprise here and there on something that just will shock the hell out of you that you're like, I would have never like, how does that even play into the part? And so it's just um it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's why I think a lot of people don't talk about it. Um, because it's amazing how everything makes you shush shush. Like I'd love to tell you some stories, but I can't. Can't. I'll get in trouble. Um, and yeah, there's just so many layers to things. So many. Do 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 do. What the f he says? I was hoping you build him for the estimate. Put him in his place. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Richard's got on there. Getting into commercial when I'm able to use my own inventory. Yeah, commercial is a different animal. Commercial is a different animal. I mean, honestly, I still feel like this is just my opinion. I personally, I don't even know why I still feel like this, but I personally would not do commercial. It depends on what kind of commercial we're talking about. So if it was like a little DPW, like with 6 doors or 8 doors or something like that, and that's like you're only gonna do a couple of those, yeah, I do commercial, you know what I mean? But for me, the problem is our demographic where we're at. Like I said, we are probably all 75 to 80%. We do all the commercial in our town, and I can't be at every place at once. You know what I mean? And even to this day, I still get called into them. That's why sometimes you'll see like the gates or the videos I have and stuff like that because they're just too much. They're just going to take too long, and the guys have to run to other jobs. And so once you start building, that was the thing I'd run into. Like I had that same problem. My business partner. So I might have said this before, maybe not. So there was a point where I was working 3 jobs. I was working mainly 2, right? I was working affordable door and gate, and I was working my produce. I was working for a grocery store at nighttime, and my grocery store job at nighttime was basically to pay for my business partner employee during the day, because what I started realizing is that I only have a window, right? I only have a window from 8 to 5. Popcorn, if you're gonna come over here, come over here. And so only have a window from 8 to 5 that I can service these people, right? And I was running out. Like I was running out. Like I'm at these jobs 2, 4 hours easily, 6 hours working on something, cable sections, springs, I can't, so I had to have my business partner at the time. I had to have him. I had to. I couldn't I couldn't be without him because I just, you know what I mean? There's only so much time during the day, and I can't go to these places, at, after 5 o'clock. I can't be there at 6, 7, 8, 10, midnight. They're not open. They'll laugh at me. So for me to scale out in commercial, I had to bring in more people, right? Residential is easier for me to turn on and off still to this day. Like if we get so much commercial, we'll turn the residential off. But residential people are like, um, like flies to dog crap, right? I still to this day don't feel like there's hardly any loyalty when it comes to residential. Commercial will stay kind of loyal and work with you if you work with them and do a decent job. But residential, I never go back. It's kind of like that whole thing. Like I never go to them and they go, you know why I used you? I go, why? They go, because you sell LiftMaster. And I go, yeah, I knew I was doing something smart. Yeah. Yeah. That's me. That's me. Yeah, that's me. That's why I'm here. And now you're going to pay me an extra 200, 400, $600. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's like, what are you going to put in? Will it match? I've had that, right? They want it to only match somewhat, or it'd be the same model. I've had that. Could be a Genie, could be a LiftMaster, could be a Linear. Most part, they don't care. Just want to go up and down. You know what I mean? For us, anyways. Or maybe it doesn't have Wi-Fi, so I can connect to my phone to see if my wife's cheating on me. I want to know if she's leaving at night because when I'm working my third shift, I've been smelling something fishy. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I don't know. Like I said, but residential, like I said, they're just going to call around. They're just going to use whoever gets to them or whoever's willing to drop drawers and get there fast, or and they'll pay or something, right? If you're there and get it, but they're the easiest come and go, quick, easy money grab. They understand they're the low of the totem pole, the lowest on the totem pole in a sense, because they are the consumer, right? And they understand that you don't go into a grocery store without paying, right? You can't just walk out, I'll pay you guys later. No, you pay now. That's how they work. Where commercial, you better have some money in the bank. And it's easy with commercial to get roped up into, oh, I need a bigger truck. I need a trailer. I need a scissor lift. I gotta keep up with electricians that's working there. They got a nice service van and wrap and just stuff. I'm just bringing it up. Like I said, it's not good or bad. Just bringing it up because it's fun. Like I said, still to this day, can't believe how many residential I went to. And none of them, when I worked through Lowe's, none of them were like, hey man, like, you like employed at Lowe's? No. Well, what's that name on the side of your truck? Well, how much would it? I couldn't believe nobody ever asked me, how much would you charge to install this? Just even looking for a better price. They just like go in their house, come out. I tell them, show them the photo eyes, how they work, this and that. Hey, got your new door? They didn't care. They're like, I paid for it. Just fix it, get it done, get the hell out of my life. Not a problem. Jeff says, Rich, he says, but I think I'm about to close a deal with him. He says, I just hope that it goes smooth. Dave, I can measure, what does it say? Dave, I can measure them and pick them up directly from Clope. Works out nice. It says it's always good. And that's another thing too. You got to always think about who do you have for a vendor, The way it sounds like up there by Evan, cousin Evan, I think he should open up his own shop. He should be his own little door distributor. You know what I mean? Because then he could help out the small guys. Because there ain't nobody local that wants to help out the small guys, it sounds like. And so you could do something like that and then get some people under you that would purchase stuff from you. I think you'd be living pretty good. Get yourself. That's why I said, forget the house. Forget the house. The house is a money pit, right? If the girl loves you, she'll stay with you no matter what. Tell her to buy the house. Have her get mommy and daddy get some money. They can pay for a house. You know what I mean? Otherwise, honey, we're moving in, right? Got to be like those Chinese, man. Those Chinese people, like the Chinese restaurants, they always like live in the, like they're like in the back, right? They live upstairs, right? And their business is downstairs. I'm not beating them up. I'm saying that's a good thing, man. You got to do what you got to do, man. You got to make baby money. Make that money, make baby money. If it's not putting money in your pocket, I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's got to be making me money. That's how I look at it. I'd be like, I'd lease out something. I'd be like crashed at like in the back or something. Like nobody even know I was there. They'd just be like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I never see him. I don't know. I'd be hustling. I'd be busting my hiney. I'd be in there in the morning. Be like, good morning. Cup of coffee. What you need today? Need a garage door? I got a couple out back here. Come back and get them. Need a garage door opener? Not a problem. Clopay will make them for me when I call since I'm a dealer, and then I charge the customer to pick them up. Monday's repair cost was 300 in parts and 7,000 labor, so no charge, coupler and shaft. Hey, there you go. Like I said, you know, that's not bad. Like I say, you can just run around and you can get stuff done and they'll make it for you. Like I said, but obviously for Rusty, he's got that. Not everybody's got that for an option, right? I don't even have that as for an option. I don't have nobody that's deals with that big of springs. Residential we can do all day, but we have to order them through either Wayne Dalton, which they normally have cheaper shipping, or we have to get them through Service Spring, which they do a good job, but they're going to come freight, which sucks. And then you have to wait for a truck, which interrupts your day. And then the truck drivers are real jerks nowadays and they never call you, even though you tell them on the phone, do you want to call ahead? And you're like, yes, call me on everything. Call me when he wakes up in the morning. Tell me when he's on his way. And they don't. They'll call you like when they're sitting in your driveway. Hey, I'm sitting here with a delivery. Jeez. Where's the phone call, dude? Well, you got somebody? Oh, yeah, I'm 30 minutes away. Sure. Let me drop what I'm doing, 14, he says, man hours. Rusty says, Tony's guys, it's Rusty. He says, Rusty moving on up. It's not our 405 anymore. Says Jeff here. So for me, cash cows on commercial are continuous hinges, closers, panic devices. Oh man, you're doing all kinds of that stuff. The rim, he says, stuff on other guys that work on the doors don't do or what to do. No more 405. That's right, Tony. Inflation today. That's funny. Oh, I see Blackberry. What's up, Blackberry? It's been a long time. Tony, raise your prices. So Tony, raise your prices. So Tony had to raise the bar. No Evan tariffs. Rusty's got all about conversion ratio. He says, I'm charging 500 for commercial now. He says, because I have no competition, I'm raising the 405. This is because I sell almost every job with no complaints on price. Yeah, see, there you go. We had a slow week this week. How about you? Yeah, I don't think it's been, when I looked at it, a lot of little service stuff. Nothing's still taken off over in our neck of the woods. Just a lot of preventative maintenance stuff going on, just taking care of, the ins and outs, the little jobs, at least in our neck of the woods. Like I said, I use certain businesses as kind of like a gauge. Like we have a tire shop and they're the cheapest in town, right? They're always busy. That place has not been busy. We have another place that does truck accessories, same thing. Like I said, our demographic is a lot different. There's not a lot of stuff moving far as I can see. There's a few businesses, buildings and stuff being put up, nothing on fire. Nothing's really taken off. Like I said, I think we've been a little bit locked up with the snow. We got hit pretty hard with the snow. So we've been all kind of, it's amazing what a couple days of snow melt will make the phone do. The phone will change on a dime. And so you get a few in there. Like I said, right now we got the tax season. So, I don't take this as a good indicator. It's just kind of, some people got a little bit of money in their pocket. They're running with it. Rusty says, all about the conversion ratio. So I'm charging 500 for commercial now because I have no competitor in raising 405. Oh, I think I read that. We're slow, rich, henceforth, inflation. I think it's going to keep coming. That's why I'm kind of concerned. Like they keep saying something about that inflation is not going to be, If that 5,000 ever gets released, that shouldn't affect because of this or that. And I go, man, I, I don't see, why would they even consider sending it out? Why? I don't even want it. Like, just get it so we don't have to pay income taxes anymore. That would be a huge, I think that'd be a huge blessing for everybody. You know what I mean? Put more money in the employees and workers and the blue collar people. That would be huge. That's going to be that's something that's going to be repeatable and keep happening instead of just a 5,000 quick fix. Get a shot in the arm, you feel good for a couple hours. You know what I mean? So slow. I used to have a security camera business, and difference between commercial and residential was the same. What is that? So I used to have a security camera business, and the difference between commercial and residential was the same. Difference between, huh? Difference between commercial for our business is like night and day on ours. I mean, it's just such a different animal. I mean, it's like you got residential that want it now, typically want it for a cheaper price, right? It's coming out of their pocket. And then it's like, but we get quick payment, right? It's quick payment. We're done with the job. Pay us, please. And then commercial, it's like, we really don't care about the price. Let's just get it fixed. You have a rough idea. How fast can you do it? Let's get it done. It's slowing down production. Let's do it. And then it's, wait 30, 60. We don't have any more. That used to be 90. We had one that was 90. That was kind of like, no, thanks. What's it got? 20, I was supposed to have a spring and opener changed, but the customer didn't get back to me today. I think I was supposed to be for their older mother. Yeah, it kind of goes back to that whole thing. Do you call them and follow up? You probably could call or just say, hey, just checking in. And then they let you know, oh, I found somebody else, or we're kind of busy right now. We forgot about you, or we just don't have the money, or, she's thinking about waiting, or there's just, there's always a lot of back and forth, kind of like a mouse and cat game, so they're make money, make the money. What does it say? Shop someday. They plan to overthrow. What does it say? The mom and pop shop. He says, shop someday. I'm just, like I said, this is going for a lot of, I do this stuff for my own kids, and I do it for Caleb and just a lot of young men out there. Cause I was telling the wifeatron a while back ago about, I never had nobody to talk to about this kind of stuff. I always have been the lone wolf on this stuff. I never had no parents or anybody in business or anything. It was just, I was right at the tip, right? The tip of that, go get a good job, work your ass off, and get a pension. Well, those days are gone. We don't get pensions anymore. You know what I mean? Your 401k is goofy, I mean, give or take. And, so I look at it, but I look at how many things I look at where, like, kind of like the business, right? The location that I'm at. The shop, right? For instance, right? I bought it for a song and a dance, but when I started building in it, the township was just attacking me, and the stress and the problem is all these things that were going on. These things, as I'm still running a business, it's not making me money. You know what I mean? So like I'm trying to get concrete, I'm trying to get electrical put in, and I got the township just chewing on me, well, you're running a business. Hell yeah, I'm running a business. goddamn, I got to make some money, and so I was, all this stuff where I just thought, I just lease a building. I probably just lease when I'm starting out to really believe that this is what I want to do. And then I would grow from there. As it grows, I get a good location. If I'm getting customers, hey, you know what, we're going to be moving. We're going to be building or purchasing a new building as the cash flow and you build the customers. But sometimes we have this mindset that if we don't have certain things, the customer's not going to use us. The customer's not going to like us. We don't have the nice fancy truck. We don't have this. We don't have the, not always necessarily, right? It's staying small, keeping it all, doing a good service, spread the word, you know what I mean? And just slowly keep progressing. But, uh, I even think, honestly, just kind of thinking it just off the top of my head, just like with Rusty, right? If Rusty has no competition, he should make competition. He should be building. He's got a building. I think he's got a really nice building, honestly. But I would be selling parts. I'd be starting to sell parts out of there. Get mom and dad. That's easy stuff. They don't have to be in the field. It's not super physical labor. Get a young kid there. I think that one shop that is our biggest one in Michigan, that's a great thing. I think it's a great thing because what it is you can sell product out the door and you can make your 10, 50, 100, $200 per item. And let's face it, not myself, not anybody watching this. You can't go do 20 service calls in a day. Oh, yes, I can. No, you can't. You can't. But you could sell 20 products out the door. Maybe you could sell 50. Maybe you could sell 100. It's unlimited in a sense, right? Maybe start selling online. You could sell this stuff, and then that stuff is out there doing, it's making it's not as good as money right up front, but it's all trickling out, and you got people coming back that are buying stuff, right? And you're not so like the one company we are one of our vendors. The only way they advertised to us back in the day was through a fax machine. I'd get this thing in the fax. I was like, what the hell are these prices? And they say the name. And I'm like, I don't know who this company is. I don't know where they're at. But then one day, as I was starting out, I realized, oh my gosh, I got to buy a commercial LiftMaster. Shoot. Where the hell am I? Hey, let me go back in that paper. Oh, it's right here. Okay. They're about an hour away. Let me give them a call, and they worked with me. Right. It was great for a small. I've noticed it even in this business, just talking to you guys. I see it all the time. I get emails, text, how much you guys you can't buy from Certain Spring because you have an EIN number. It's kind of ridiculous. I think it's going to change. I think it's going to probably keep getting better and better through like Amazon as people jump on there and start selling stuff or whatever. You're going to be able to basically get anything. I think you eventually get garage doors through Amazon or another company similar. Maybe Walmart will take over. But people still need that instant, like Rusty, for instance, right? He's going to Clopay. He's not calling Amazon, right? And he doesn't even have the product to make it in his house or not in the shop in house, build your own stuff. He's just got an awesome dealer, right? And that's great. That's awesome that you can do that. And that's why you guys got to look at it for yourself, and kind of like that stuff I didn't look at, right? I just jumped into it. I got into it and all of a sudden I had to find these people. Luckily for us, we got about 6 vendors that are not too far away that we can use stuff if we have to. Otherwise, for us, it's always get the stuff shipped in, always, because it's time, right? We don't have time to be driving out, and it's wear and tear. And like I said, it's really different when you got employees and you look at it and you go, how much I'd pay them and the truck and the liability and for us, it's like, okay, go on to the next, you know what I mean? Go on to the next job. Why this comes, hey, popcorn. They wanted to say hi to you. Come here. He won't listen. He's too young and dumb, but he likes to tick me off. That's for sure. What's the guy here? Rusty, Tony, make the money, throw my pie shop. In fact, it says, what do we got here? Residential was even more of a pain because they were more concerned about aesthetics of the commercial clients. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you can't go through ceiling tiles and, drill in here, drill there. And, most time commercial people understand. I always like commercial because, commercial too, you're like on the same team. You're like, hey, can I use that forklift? Yeah, go ahead, help yourself. Sweet. You know what I mean? You got everybody's, what I've noticed with the commercial too, is that pretty much everybody had to earn their spot. Like you typically don't go to commercial and find 90-year-olds, it's all in the same. It's either younger or older than me, demographics. So we're all physically where it's like, hey man, can you like come over and give me a hand with this? And they're like, yeah, not a problem. We're all on the same team, right? We're all trying to move together. Where residential, yeah, I've been some, and it's nice helping out the old people. I don't have nothing against it, but it's just sometimes, it's, well, you can't go through, you got to go through the house, and you're like, oh my gosh, this one's bad. I still never forget the lady that her fingernails, and it all made me want to vomit. Her fingernails wrapped around. And I remember she had like an old Corvette. I think maybe her husband passed away. Maybe, I don't know for sure. There's a Corvette in there with flat tires. So she wants me to fix the garage door. It's an old wood door, like 9x7 or something. And I'm sitting there just like looking at everything, everything's dusty and dirty. And I'm just sitting there and it's like, almost like the floor is so like, I'm like, is the floor dirt? Or is there concrete under there? I can't tell. Is it dirt or is it concrete? It's so dusty and leaves. And I'm just like, and I remember hearing this clacking while I'm sitting there looking at it. I kept hearing click, 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 click. And I kept going, what the hell is that? Like, is she going, is she like doing that in her mouth? Or is she like, what is that noise? And then finally she turned around to go back in the house, whatever. I glanced down and I was like, oh my gosh. I said, her fingernails. I thought, oh, and then it had this, I don't know how it is. You guys know how it is. I'm sure you have old people. Sometimes old people have this certain smell, but it was 10x. And I remember I just want to gag. Right. And so I went through the house and I told her, I said, we'll see what we can do. We'll get you a price. And I remember I walked out the front door. I got about 10, 20 feet away from the house. And I remember I just went, I sniffed through my nose as hard as I could to get fresh air, but it was still in there in the hairs or whatever. And I sucked in that crap that was in the house still. And I was like, ugh. I started to do like and I'm trying not to do it in front of her. You know what I mean? Like I'm still in front of her house. I got in the truck and it was just like, and I remember I had to go over to my mom's for something. And so I go over there and I'm just just like all bugged out. And she's like, how's your day going? And I'm like, Mom, like, you won't believe this job I went to. And she's like, oh my gosh. And then she had to throw on top. She goes, David, she goes, how does that lady wipe herself? You know that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, it took me over the top. I was just wanted to be like, stop, stop, stop. I'm gonna do it. you know, I just, oh man. Let me check this telephone out for a second. I think I had, I didn't realize it got so late on us. Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, let's see here. We'll wrap her. What time is it? We'll go to, if we get anything still going here, we'll keep going. Rich has got pay down the national debt. I agree. I agree. That's why I kind of told, I was like, I don't want the money. I said, just do what you need to do to fix the stuff. You know what I mean? But it makes me think that the economy's not doing as good as, so if we put this out there, it's going to help the businesses and stuff, right? It's going to kind of stimulate, need a stimmy. Da-da, da-da. Tony's got, yes. He says, put back all the money they took from Social Security. I know. I still think it's a crock of crap. I didn't really, like I said, I kind of knew it, but it hasn't been in my surface where I heard, that you pay taxes on your Social Security. I thought, oh my gosh. So you pay tax, then when you get Social Security back, you still, come on, man. Come on. These people, I don't know anybody that's on Social Security that's living the dream. You know what I mean? That's just like, oh my gosh, they're paying me so good, man. People are hurting. With inflation, and you know how the whole game works. They're not going to tell you that inflation's this hot or this high, right? Because if they did that, then what are people on Social Security going to say? Well, I think we need a raise. I think, no, they don't want that. Nothing but lies. Morgan, what's up? How much would y'all settle me? Was it the 81600s for 1.2 million? Tony says 575. 7 foot. Man, I'd do it for 574. Interesting. Since I installed them for that. Uh, what's it got here? Says Dave, there is nobody to sell parts to. He says only other door guy in the area are business owners. They are no small guys like Evan. Contractors buy directly from Home Depot. The contractors do? Dang, man. Dang. You gotta start working on get some subs. Get those subs. 345, 7. You pick up. Morgan, I charged 11 or 10, 94, 34 installed. Installed. Let's make sure this is good. Okay, we're good. Speaking of ceiling tiles, he says I was doing an install in an office that was in the middle of a warehouse. Getting up over the ceiling was easy because I just climbed a ladder, and outside he says of an 8-foot wall. Yeah, ceiling tiles drop down, man. You just cover it back up, drape your wires, zip tie, whatever you got to do. Nice and easy. Versus homes. Houses are always more picky. That's why, the residential and stuff. I'd always bring like the booties, so you could bring mud in, and always trying to find an exit plan as easy as I could. I was like, okay, the garage door's got a broken spring. I do not want to go back to the house. I'm going to hit the garage door button and run like hell to help lift the door up. And then I'm going to bring all my tools in and better make sure I got everything. And then I'm going to shut the door, hopefully do everything I need. So I don't got to go back through the house, fix the door, open the door, pick up my tools and my garbage. And, so I have to keep traveling through the house because it never fails. Seems like they always got the dog, right? The dog's always barking and it's nice. And gotta say hi to Fluffy. I like dogs. I don't, but it's how it is when you want to do, it's like, the one lady I remember towards my end, she was a nice lady. I sat down, I had time, so I sat down and had coffee with her. I'm just sitting there kind of going, not getting paid to sit here and have coffee, but I'll be nice. And she was a sweet lady. So I got the time. Why not? Office. Didn't realize 10-foot ceiling joints were connecting across, he says, as I walked across them. He says, ooh, they spread apart. Ooh, fell between them. Oh, man. Oh, hit the floor. Ooh, two office ladies. Dang, dude. That sucks. That's like, hello. Oh, man. Oh, that's right. That's right. Long drive tomorrow. All right, Tony. Safe travels, my friend. Hopefully, we'll see you back in the saddle soon. See you, Tony. Says Pop Tony. To Paul says, what is this? Black. He says, Rich. He says, Blackberry, you use the dart gun to pull wires. I never heard of that. That's what I said. He says, huh. Dart gun. I wonder if that's like you shoot them through or something or suck them through. Blackberry, did you scream? Oh yeah, like that Kool-Aid guy. That's a good one. That's a good one, Evan. I like that. I like that. Oh man. Oh man. Oh. Oh. Oh man. That's young and dumb. So Rochelle, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna get back. I got to get back on the old thing here. I see the Wifetron's hitting me up through the wall, yelling that. Oh my gosh! All right, guys, I'm heading out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you have a good weekend. If you want, let me know. Hit me up. We'll do another one or something if you want. Maybe Saturday, Sunday. We can go from there if time allows it and all that good stuff. So, always take care. Have a good night. I'm out. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta figure out. I gotta get a little snack, midnight snack. You know what I'm talking about? A little hungry, little munchies. See you guys.